budget. And if Indiana is able to do that, does it?
I mean, Josh Hoover, some had ranked as a top 5 quarterback. I think almost everyone has him ranked as a top 5 quarterback in the portal. Nick Marsh, the receiver from Michigan State, I think in the Pete Nako's portal rankings was number 3 in the country.
And Mendoza was highly sought after.
So what are they paying for these guys? I mean, I don't think they're doing it on a shoestring budget. I mean, that's a very quick commitment for Josh Hoover. And this guy, I mean, he was a really good quarterback at TCU. This guy didn't even really make visits. He goes right to Indiana. So you tell me Indiana's not paying much in the portal, I'm not going to believe you. I think they've got to be. Now, are they paying Cody Campbell Texas Tech money? Probably no. But I think they're paying the same type of money that an Alabama or Ohio State or a Texas is willing to pay.
Before we get to trash, and before I tell you about our friends at Hemphill, Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson has yet to make a decision. Pete Thamel talking with Peter Webb, who is his sports marketing agent. The NFL looms as the most likely option, according to Pete Thamel, but nothing has been decided. Ty Simpson is spending the upcoming days exploring what the NFL would look like for next year. A majority of his energy this week will be spent on what NFL options look like to him. That from Pete Thamel in talking with Peter Webb. That is the situation with the Alabama quarterback. But Thamel says the NFL looms as the most likely option for Alabama's QB1. That from Pete Thamel and Ty's representatives. Our friends at Hemphill, LancesLock.com for tonight's FCS championship game, Montana State and Illinois State, 6:30 on ESPN from Vanderbilt Stadium in Nashville. Hemphill for all your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They've got an emergency line for you, so you can call them up, 205-229-2090. Taking care of Alabama, the name Birmingham's trusted since the 1950s. It's our friends at Hemphill Services.
But you guys have sharded, right?
I have, yes. I think every man's done
that could be it.
I think you're reading way too much into this.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends at Bud Light bring you trash every single day. Were you ever a Betty Boop fan, Jim? It was well before our time, but it was still around when we were kids.
No, but there is a great star basketball player named Boopy.
Boopy?
For SMU, yeah.
And he's currently playing, and his name is Boopy?
Led SMU to a big upset over North Carolina over the weekend.
Yeah.
Plays Duke next Saturday at Cameron Indoor.
Had that game on. I never had volume up, so I never heard Boopy, but I had it on one of my side screens during Alabama, Kentucky.
Boopi.
Boopy. Betty Boop is a old-school cartoon character, and she now joins an exclusive club, Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, Bambi, Popeye, and Mickey Mouse. She joins a club where her public domain has expired. Public domain protection has expired. So now she is going to be in a horror film. From director Jared Cohn and writer Josh Ridgway, Boop is headed to the U.S. film market. According to Deadline, who broke the news earlier
When you crave
today,
activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
You know what, D? I hate being on this highway with all these 18-wheelers. I don't know what I'd do if I got in an accident with one.
First, call 911 to report the accident, and then hit up the gators of the litigation situation. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney, because accidents with 18-wheelers, delivery truck, and construction vehicles are complicated. Call 1-800-229-7989 or hit them up at Shannara.com. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney. We go deeper. We fight harder. We win bigger. Call me, Alabama.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Live show now as we get going today, and I will tell you this, this portal with 4,000 people in it is very interesting, and it's impossible to keep up with. But for Alabama and Auburn, a couple of big pieces, part of the morning news cycle, so we'll jump into that quickly off the top. We'll eventually get to the craziness last night in Nashville. If you watched the FCS National Championship game, it was a 5 out of 5, 2 popcorn bags, whatever rating system you have for entertainment last night. And I know it was only the FCS, but it was fun. We got basketball tonight in Auburn, and eventually we will get to the playoff games on the field Thursday and Friday. But let's start with the quarterback position, because the quarterbacks get all the news, and Auburn has QB1 today as Byrum Brown has joined the Auburn team. That's official this morning. He'll be QB1. Before we tell you the stats he comes in, Justin Ferguson makes this point. Because Joel Gordon was the offensive coordinator at South Florida, comes with Alex Golesh. Brown and Gordon will be back together at Auburn this year. It'll be the first time Auburn has had a quarterback and OC be together in back-to-back seasons since Jarrett Stidham and Chip Lindsey.
That seems like an eternity ago.
It does. So it's been a while.
Chip Lindsey's been a head coach and an offensive coordinator at a couple stops since then, right?
Now, though they were not in Auburn gear last year, it is a little continuity Auburn hasn't had since Jarrett Stidham and Chip Lindsey as OC and quarterback working together in back-to-back years. But this guy, Byrum Brown, I know it looks like he's just following his coach, USF to Auburn. In my opinion, though, this guy could have gone a lot of places.
He could have,
He's a really good quarterbback.
Yeah, Luginbill will join us at the bottom half of the first hour here. He'll join us at 9:30 if you're listening live. And he's a guy that has seen Byrum Brown in person a lot. We'll get his thoughts on him and Hollywood Smothers for that matter. But I think Byrum Brown had value in the portal elsewhere. This is not just one of the deals where I'm not saying he's as good a quarterback as. I'm not trying to make a comparison. One's better than the other, potentially. I don't know which. But it's a little bit like Drew Mestemaker in North Texas. Mestemaker could go a lot of places, but Mestemaker ending up with his coach at Oklahoma State isn't just because his coach went to Oklahoma State and I need my old quarterback.
I understand what you're saying. Mestemaker to me is, I've seen it work in that system with that coach. I don't trust that anywhere else.
Okay.
Right now.
Right.
This guy with Byrum Brown, I think I would have trusted in Lane Kiffin's system.
Right.
I think I would have trusted it in, Mike Bobo's system. I think he's that kind of a talent. I really think Byrum Brown will play in the NFL. I
have no idea on that.
I really do.
So I guess what we're saying is Byrum Brown is following his coach, but he's not just following his coach.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's kind of the way to say it, right?
Like, I think Alex Golesh is very lucky that I believe the college football world believed Brown was just going to follow Alex Golesh, because there are a number of teams that would like this guy. At USF, and I know who USF plays, 4,116 total yards, 3,000 passing, 1,000 yards rushing, 42 touchdowns. But what Luginbill, we'll ask Luginbill this when he joins us in the next segment. I think what you will find, instantly you see that and you're like, this guy is an athletic quarterback who is so good with his legs and probably hides his passing with his legs. This guy throws an unbelievable deep ball, from what I'm told. When I watch the games I've watched, Alabama fans saw him twice, relatively kept him in check in both those games compared to what he did to other teams. But he's a beast. He's a beast to tackle, and he throws the ball really well, especially deep. Now, he's got a quick release. Is he a little bit more Jalen Milroe than he is to some of the, Fernando Mendoza? Is he more Jalen Milroe than he is Fernando Mendoza? Probably so. But this guy has a lot of skill.
In what way is he more Jalen Milroe than Fernando Mendoza?
Those are really good deep ball, really good runner.
Okay.
Short intermediate passes, maybe he's really quick getting the ball out, which is good. Accuracy in the short intermediate, from what the scouts say, that's something he's got to work on, something he'll improve on. So, I'm telling you, this guy has the skill set. This guy's Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Well, he's the next thing you've got to do, and Auburn's still got plenty of time to do this, is find him somebody to throw to. Auburn's got no receivers right now. Yeah. All their receivers are gone, or at least in the portal, looking like they're gone. I guess I should say it that way, because you can always come back out of the portal to where you are. So, I mean, that's going to be step number 2. You find your quarterback. Now you got to find guys to throw it to.
Right.
So that's going to be critical for him, no matter how good a quarterback he is. If they don't have quality receivers, that's not doing you any good. So that's step number 2 for Auburn, is finding the guys to throw to. I would say on the surface, it looks like Auburn's best quarterback situation probably since Bo Nix. Like, this show was never huge fans of Peyton. I almost said it this way. What?
I'm just saying, you acted like you were walking out on a limb there that could crack when you said best quarterback situation since Bo Nix.
Well,
I think you're walking out on the George Washington Bridge in New York. It's not following. You can walk out on that bridge.
I will remind you,
this is going to be the best situation since
there were
Bo
a lot
Nix.
of people that said Jackson Arnold is going to flourish under Hugh Freeze.
Yes.
I was not among those people. I said, I don't really get this, and I don't think he's a very good quarterback. Not that I know the quarterback position. I can just read numbers. And there were a lot of people that were like, oh, this is a great get for Auburn, great get for Auburn, great get for Auburn.
That is true.
Until you see it happen, that's why I'm just saying, on the surface, it certainly appears it's the best since Bo Nix.
Well, one thing is for sure, the defense he plays week in and week out changes tremendously. I mean,
the defense he plays against,
no doubt. He's coming into a meat grinder of a league, and until you play in that meat grinder, we really never know. You know, when we talk about Alabama's running back here in a second, great numbers. I love this pickup for Alabama in Hollywood Smothers, but we really don't know what he's going to get until he gets in the SEC, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So back to your point on Brown.
So I was just going to go back and look at this past season, where, as you point out, about 4,000 total yards against the quality defenses he played. Now, again, when you do this, you have to use the caveat of he's playing SEC or ACC defenses with an American roster himself. So it can't all be on him. But with that in mind, against Florida, 23 of 36, 263, a touchdown, no picks, en route to the 18-16 win. That was his passing, his rushing against Florida, 17 carries, 66 yards. You watched that game like I did. He was the better quarterback on the field. There was no doubt about it that day. And again, that's playing at Florida with American talent. The very next week at Miami didn't go so well. That was a sexy upset pick.
It was.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
20 of 36, 274, a touchdown, and a pick. Not awful numbers on the road at Miami right there.
It really is.
20 of 36, you'd like that a little better.
And you're sitting here right now.
Now,
Miami's still playing, by the way.
They are. Yeah. Now, and the reason Miami is still playing is why this next stat's not a huge surprise. 13 carries, 2 yards. He could not run the ball against Miami, and that is so much. I mean, he's got 1,000 rush yards this past year and 14 rush touchdowns. So the quality he played in conference, and this is probably a fairer measure of him, against North Texas, really good team, obviously, in conference. 22 of 28, 245, 3 touchdowns and a pick on the road. Pretty good game right there. Against Navy, good defense, 23 of 32, 327, 2 touchdowns and a pick.
Yeah.
At Memphis, good team. They lost this game, 26 of 43, 269, a touchdown and a pick. Against the quality in his conference, that was when he played some of his better football.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, you don't know how it translates, but to be fair to the guy, other than Miami, he played his game pretty much against everybody.
We will talk about Byrum Brown with Tom Luginbill, who handles so much for ESPN, including their Under Armour All-Star Game, 18 years of that now. Lugs will join us in the next segment to talk about Byrum Brown and Hollywood Smothers, the running back to Alabama. And we'll have a little comment on Hollywood here in a second after I tell you about our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City. Listen, you step out to the street corner, look at your house when you get home today. or if you're listening to us later, just go out there right now and look at your roof. And if it looks old and stained in places, Greg's got a solution for you right now. He's got a new soft wash program that can remove that staining usually and make it look 3, 4, 5, 6 years newer than it actually is. And that's important with the insurance companies when they're out inspecting your house, or when you make a claim or something, how, just the eye test, right? It's like selecting the college football playoff field. Eye test for your roof better with the soft wash from Greg. Get details on that, stormrestorationroofing.com, or call Greg up. This is his cell number, 205-542-3531. You don't have to live under trees to get this staining. Just the sun in the south does that. He also has that free no-cost roof inspection, so he can check for staining up there, but also leaks and any shingles that are out of place, cracks up in the roof, any of that. Free no-cost roof inspection, 205-542-3531. He is A-plus rated with a Better Business Bureau, storm damage repairs, roof replacements. He does it all. He and his wife run this company, locally owned for over 20 years. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. Okay, Alabama, the reason they're not playing this weekend, probably because of their run game.
Mm-hmm.
If they just had a little bit better run game, Alabama would still be playing this weekend. Well, they needed a little bit more against Indiana, but a run game would have helped. A run game would have helped a little bit.
Sure.
That was not an intentional cough for effect. That was a cough just because.
Because you coughed, yes, okay.
Alabama gets NC State running back Hollywood Smothers, considered to be one of the best running backs in the portal.
Yeah, great name, too.
1,128 yards, 7 touchdowns for NC State. He was a recruit at Oklahoma, so this is his third school. Oklahoma, NC State, now Alabama. Courtney Morgan and the staff see something in this guy that they think fits into the Alabama running game.
Well, again, let's talk about his numbers. 1,500 rush yards at NC State. Now, that, as you pointed out, covers 2 years. I'll give you the exact numbers real quick here. 571 rushes on 89 carries. That's a 6.42 per clip and 6 touchdowns in 2024. In 2025, 939 yards, 5.87 a clip, and 6 touchdowns. So he averaged, at least in 2 years, 5.8 or better per carry. That's good. Against quality. So let's talk quality here. Now, this is a little easier comparison because we're talking ACC here, which is a little closer to the SEC than the American is. Against Virginia, 17 carries, 140 yards. Virginia played it for a conference championship, 2 touchdowns in that game. At Notre Dame, 12 carries, 46 yards. Georgia Tech, he didn't play against. At Miami was his worst game, only 7 carries, -2 yards. They were down 41-7, or lost 41-7. They were down and had to start heaving the ball, so he was really not part of that game. Again, I'll say the same thing about Smothers. He's an exciting player, but Alabama's got to address offensive front in front of him, which they're going to do in the portal, obviously. They're not idiots. So until they do that, it's probably not going to help the rush game. I will be interested in Luginbill's breakdown on Smothers as well. Is he obviously better than Jam Miller, Daniel Hill, A.K. Deer?
Yep.
I mean,
the guys you have back are Riley, Hill, and Deer.
Right.
Those are the guys right now in that running back room. Is this guy good enough to take carries away from Riley, Hill, or Deer? Like A.K. Deer is one of the best running backs in the world during recruiting.
That's right. But you saw him when Alabama, they tried to use him in the SEC championship game. He wasn't ready for that moment, and it ended up being a bad play. So, look, you can fix that. I mean, that's a freshman right there. Give him some more time, and you could fix that. But at his highest end, how does Hollywood Smothers compare to an A.K. Deer and a Daniel Hill? That's the question. And look, I mean, if they're just tied, that's really good depth. If Smothers is the better guy, then he can come in and earn a starting job.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have a replacement for Jam Miller, but don't forget, you have the nation's number 1 running back in recruiting, right? And Isaiah Crowell coming in. So this is a improvement to the room, but it's probably a depth improvement.
On the surface, again, I'll go on the surface here like I did with Byrum Brown. If Alabama can't run the ball next year, it's all offensive line. That's what you would say on the surface, because you look at this group of running backs and you're like, that's a talented group of running backs. If they can't run the football, it's scheme or line. It's not running back. That's what you would say on the surface based on what A.K. Deer has looked like, what you've seen out of Daniel Hill, what you've seen out of Hollywood Smothers in the ACC, and the hope you have in Isaiah Crowell. I mean, you would say on the surface, Alabama's got everything in the backfield they need to effectively run the football next year.
Yeah, he's a 3-star high school recruit, is Smothers. Isaiah Crowell is a 5-star plus who's coming in. So that's the Alabama running back situation. It's all about the O-line. You're exactly right.
Well,
there.
and I think over the next couple days, you're going to see Auburn probably add some wide receivers out of the portal and Alabama offensive linemen out of the portal. I think you're going to see both those things happen in the next few days. This is all a process. This is not something like, these coaches, all right, we got a running back now, let's go find some offensive linemen. No, they've found the offensive linemen. It's just a matter of dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and the same with the receivers at Auburn.
Alabama did lose a player that is on my sheet of 2 deep here, my 2 deep sheet for Alabama. They did lose Qua Russaw to the portal yesterday, a 5-star linebacker, 49 tackles, 2 sacks, and some injuries in 2 years in Tuscaloosa. So Russaw's to the portal. The fact of the matter at the Wolf position, when he went down, Yanze Pierre came on and let everybody know that Pierre's a stud. Now, could you shuffle the deck with need at the Bandit and the Wolf, and because Overton's gone and Keeley's gone? Yeah, I mean, linebacker's a position that Alabama is going to have to use in the portal. So Russaw leaving, to me, is now the biggest departure of date. Now, I know the Bama fans would tell me, maybe he was asking for too much. Or he only had 2 sacks in 2 years. I've seen it all on my timeline. And I'm not saying, I trust the people that are making these decisions in Tuscaloosa. Courtney Morgan's one of the best in the game. I'm just saying, of the guys who are leaving, this is now, to me, the biggest loss thus far to the portal, because he's
the biggest
a guy.
Name.
Yeah, well, and I've seen when he's healthy some results, and I know it's a position of need for Alabama. They're gonna need to fill some. I mean, Lawson's gone, Jefferson's gone, Hill Green's gone, Overton's gone, Keeley's now gone. I mean, that's Bandit, Wolf, Stinger, and Mike all right there. All those guys are gone, right?
Sounds like you're running through a fraternity. God, we lost Bandit, Wolf, Stinger, and Mike. Yeah, we did.
All to the Lambda guys.
Yeah, all to the Lambda guys.
Yeah.
What happened to him? I thought Wolf was happy here.
Yeah.
That is, the Russaw thing is interesting because it is certainly the biggest name Alabama has lost to date in the portal. The truth of the matter is, and listen, film guy, I'll give Brooks Alston credit. He was the first guy to say it on this show. Like when Russaw got back healthy and I brought it up, he's like, you don't need him. Don't need him. You got Yanze Pierre. What you going to do? You're going to take Yanze Pierre off the field to put Russaw on? And there were situations where they could have Russaw and
Did Brooks
Pierre.
DM you last night?
Huh?
Did Brooks Austin DM you last night?
He did not. Why?
Oh, he DM'd me.
Oh, did he really? What did he say? I told you?
That's actually where he was the first one before I had gotten back on social media, I get a DM alert. And it's from the film guy, Brooks Austin.
Okay.
And that's how I found out Russaw was in the portal. And he just sent me eyeballs.
Like big eyeballs, eye rolls?
Just eyeballs. And I was like, I know what you said.
Yeah.
I remember. And of course I said, it's the biggest loss to date. And he wrote back that little smug face, right?
Right.
He's Brooks really good.
No, he is.
And he nailed that one, right? You had Yanze Pierre. I'm just saying, Russaw had some skill set to me. And we'll see. We'll see who comes in on the backside of that. And they've got good recruits coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those where, in college football, having a Russaw and a Yanze Pierre is going to be a luxury. And it is going to require you to pay heavy for that luxury because I read a report. Can't vouch for its accuracy. It came from a reputable, I think it was the 24/7 site that covers Tennessee football that said Tennessee was the first team to call Russaw. So, they had interest in him. There's a chance you're going to have to face him if you're Alabama. Yep. He could probably stay in conference. That's the type of regard he holds. So you're
probably look at Pete Golding.
Yep.
Maybe Georgia. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, you're right. He will stay. He's an SEC guy, whether he's at Wolf, Bandit, Stinger, or Mike.
Yes.
All right. There's a little portal news and a little incoming, outgoing, import, export of the portal in today's college football. A little more college football in our opening segment. Tom Luginbill at 9:30, Clay Travis at 10 to start hour 2 if you're watching us live right now. The show today being brought to you by the great folks at Central State Bank. Tell us about Central State Bank, Brandon.
It is the bank that is big enough to meet every single need you have, but they are also small enough to know you at Central State Bank. That's because they are part of the community. These people live in the community they serve. Their kids go to school there. Their families work there. The community is very important to them. So for more than 100 years, they have been community-focused at Central State Bank, and they are here to serve you as well. They've got locations throughout Central Alabama, especially Tallapoosa County, Alex City, Shelby County, right there in Central Alabama. They've been doing it for more than 100 years. Rooted in community, driven by relationships, Central State Bank, member FDIC.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, UCA, there for over 70 years, and they built up to 16 great locations here in Alabama to take care of you. The phone number to call to schedule an appointment or to get more information, 205-930-0920, or the easiest way at your convenience when you get home today, urologycentersalabama.com. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between, the vasectomies, men and women, they've got you covered there. Urology Centers of Alabama for over 70 years at 16 locations now, 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. We are waiting, if you're an Alabama fan, on Ty Simpson's decision. And with that, probably a little Keelan Russell connection here. But Ty Simpson NFL decision is approaching pretty fast, I would imagine. And another mock out today on ESPN. Mock draft, just the first round, 1 through 32. Ty Simpson's name, not in the 32 picks from ESPN.com in the first round. Caden Proctor is there. Kedrick Falk is there, of Alabama and Auburn players, a host of SEC players. But only 2 quarterbacks in the first round, and that is 1-2 in Mendoza and Dante Moore. I'll ask you this first. In your heart of hearts, do you truly believe the NFL can go through an entire first round and they only take a swing at 2 quarterbacks? I don't think they have it in them.
They don't. That was the first thing I was going to say is there are going to be some teams drafting in the second half of that first round that are just – they're just itching to draft a quarterback, and, they're so good at other spots. And, like, my gosh, we can get, the third best quarterback in this draft this late in the draft. Yeah, they're going to take a quarter. They're going to take more than 2 quarterbacks. It's the first thing I was going to say when you said quarterbacks 1 and 2, and that's it. I'm like, not in an NFL draft. They always overdraft quarterbacks in the NFL draft.
So that's what Ty Simpson's folks are working through right now is I won't say you don't, but Ty Simpson makes a lot of money at Alabama. I don't think you leave for the potential of going to the second round, right? Joe Klatt said that on our show yesterday. You can see the entire interview with Joe Klatt. You just don't. If there's any doubt you're going to be in the first round, you come back, you make a lot of money, you play football.
I would think so.
Especially at a program like Alabama. So we'll see with Ty Simpson. There's ESPN.com's mock from their guy, and 1 through 32, there's no obvious landing spot for Ty Simpson on the surface as we sit here in January. It's a long way to April.
Right, but I think some of that too is, and we touched on this yesterday, is which of these franchises need quarterback? I mean, if they need quarterback, there's a good chance they're going to do it in the first round. Yeah. And some of that's undetermined yet. Like, I would say Arizona. Are they going to move on from Kyler Murray or not? Well, I think some of that's going to depend on the coach they hire. Gannon got fired yesterday. They haven't hired a coach yet. Some of these people like Atlanta did, not that they're going to draft quarterback, but some people cleaned out front office and head coach. Those people are going to bring a different philosophy. So that's one reason it's hard for these guys to do mock drafts right now. You don't even know who's coaching or picking at some of these places.
By the way, if Sark ends up leaving Texas to go to an NFL job that needs a quarterback, he loves Ty Simpson. Loves him.
How do you know that? Like he has said
through
that?
the recruiting process.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're just going back to when he recruited.
Yeah. Loves his skill set.
Yeah.
And you want a bold statement? I'll give you one right here.
Yeah, let's go hot take.
I think when they get to evaluations of actually on the field, once Ty gets everything healthy and cleaned up, I personally think Ty Simpson's a better quarterback than Dante Moore. On the college level and the NFL level.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with you because guys all the time look like great NFL quarterbacks and they never pan out. And again, for Ty Simpson, he's going to end up with a better franchise if he goes late first round than what Dante Moore is going to get when he's drafted by the Jets. So, I mean, that's part of it too, is where you go in the draft. Like, If I think I'm going to be a late first-round guy, I almost assuredly come out. I'm going to be on a good franchise that's got a plan for me at quarterback, probably replacing a really good quarterback that's about to retire or something like that. And to me, that's a much better place to be, even though the money is greater being the Jets' number 2 pick or the Raiders' number 1 pick. It's a better spot if I can go to a better franchise.
One more thing before we get to Luginbill. Bojangles brings you the one more big thing.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles. You're getting together to watch some of these games that remain on the college or the pro level. You can do that with our friends at Bojangles, those hand-breaded chicken tenders. They're great for lunch or dinner, too. And don't forget those bow bites, the smaller chicken bites, chicken tender bites. You dip those in that peach honey pepper sauce, and it is terrific. At Bojangles, you can get those as well for lunch or dinner tonight. Breakfast on the way to school or work in the morning, you can make it bow time there as well. So whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or any of your football watch parties the rest of the season, always make it bow time with our friends at Bojangles.
Alabama 13th in the new AP basketball poll. They play tomorrow night at Vandy, who's number 11. Vandy hadn't lost. Tonight, though, Texas A&M at Auburn. Auburn looking for their first SEC win. It's their SEC home opener, 8 o'clock. Bucky McMillan, Bucky Ball, and Texas A&M is in town. That's 8 o'clock this evening to watch that. Speaking of watching, the Rose Bowl. I'm telling you, Alabama most watched team now by a lot this college football season. America still loves to tune in and watch Alabama lose. America loves to tune in and watch the Rose Bowl. And these numbers were huge. The most watched game in the 12-team playoff era, 2 years. But 23.9 million. At one point, there was 26-plus million people watching. 19 million, 18.7, 15.9 million. That's the numbers they won in the playoffs every round, every game, Brownie. 23.9 million is a huge number.
You know how big that number is? That number exceeds the number of people that watched the national championship game last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Now,
biggest game in the 12-team playoff era.
That's right. Now, the national championship game last year had some pretty weak brands in it, Ohio State and Notre Dame.
That's right.
I mean, if you can outdo Ohio State and Notre Dame playing for a national championship, that's a pretty good number. And that game was a terrible game to watch. Like, I can't imagine. I guess people just wanted to see Alabama get the brains beat in. They got to see it.
That's right. It was a blowout and still got 23.9 million people, peaking at right at 26 million. The Rose Bowl is always, of the 4 major bowl games, the most watched. Alabama's brand was in there. Indiana's a great story. Alabama was getting beat. Worked out perfect for those numbers there. That's the kind of numbers that you want in every college football playoff. Hard to get those numbers because of the calendar and going up against the NFL in some TV windows. But if you can find a standalone window for the playoffs, that's the kind of number you draw there, 23.9 million for the Rose Bowl. We'll talk about Byrum Brown and Hollywood Smothers, 2 portal additions for Auburn and Alabama, with Tom Luginbill coming up on the other side. Gutter Cap brings you the first segment of our show today. C-Stu and the crew at Gutter Cap want to help you in 2026, better known as 2026, Jim. They want to help add value to your home. If you've yet to invest in the Gutter Cap system, cap it and don't snap it right now. Up to 45% off, free estimates on your house. They went out to my buddy Ben's house, and they did a tremendous job for him. And Ben shopped around, and Gutter Cap gave him the best deal and the best quality service. 205-823-2212, 823-2212 to get your home checked out. Never worry about the gutters again. It's guttercapbirmingham.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
You know what, D? I hate being on this highway with all these 18-wheelers. I don't know what I'd do if I got in an accident with one.
First, call 911 to report the accident, and then hit up the gators of the litigation situation. Alexander Shannara trial attorney, because accidents with 18-wheelers, delivery truck, and construction vehicles are complicated. Call 1-800-229-7989 or hit them up at Shannara.com. Alexander Shannara trial attorney. We go deeper. We fight harder. We win bigger. Call me, Alabama.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today, in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, back with you on the next round. Tom Luginbill in just a second. Don't forget lanceslock.com, killing it right now. College basketball tonight, not just Texas A&M and Auburn. It is a fantastic night in college basketball. If you love college basketball, in the SEC, Georgia, Florida, 6 o'clock, SEC Network. Texas and Tennessee needing a win. Nationally, Texas Tech on the road at Houston, and you get Duke on the road at the Yum Center against Louisville. All that happening tonight in college basketball. Lanceslock.com for a play. Our friends at Hemphill Services bring you Lance's Lock, whether you're experiencing plumbing, heating, or cooling issues. They'll take care of you. They've been doing that since the 1950s here in Birmingham. The name Birmingham has trusted since the 1950s. For your home and your business, they're ready to serve you. They got a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency service. Contact us now, 205-229-2090, 229-2090. Dang it, Luginbill. We don't have a Jeep sponsorship. How do you have a Jeep hat on? Come on, man. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Lugs. Good morning, Lugs. Wake up.
I'll tell you what, you damn well better get one. I was going to wear my Buccaneers hat.
Oh. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Right.
We finally won since November 30th. We only lost 8 of 9 down the stretch. It was a bad ending. Ending. Yeah. So 50 years, that's more like most of the seasons I've experienced. So, I mean,
like I told you on Monday Morning Live, the only reason I have that hat is because I think that the creamsicle uniforms are the greatest uniform in the history of sport, regardless of sport.
Oh, wow. I can't disagree with you there. Yeah, I mean, the Houston Oilers, love you blue back in the day, was pretty good. Oh. Hey, I want to ask you first. Let's go Byrum Brown first here, because the assumption is going to be from those outside looking in that here's just a coach who left USF and his quarterback is coming to Auburn too. I am of the belief that if Alex Golesh was still at South Florida, and whomever is the coach at Auburn, if they were able to get Byrum Brown, this would have been a big get today. This just isn't a tag-along quarterback with the coach situation. This guy's got some skill.
Oh, he's legit now. And I had 2 of his games this fall. And, this is a guy that is about 6'3", 6'3.5", 235 pounds, and he is an absolute freight train when he gets loose. Now, I'll tell you, when you look at it just from the eye test, you're going to go, God, he's kind of got a quirky release and kind of long and looks kind of goofy. And then the more you start to peel back the layers, the more plays he makes and the ball ends up where it's supposed to go. So you have a true running threat that is not only going to be part of the quarterback run game, but he's so difficult to contain and tackle in the pocket because he's so big and strong. And he's a really good vertical passer. He's been able to create a lot of explosive plays there. You know that they're going to be fast-paced. They want to get the ball off in 13 to 15 seconds max. I think this is a huge pickup. And to be honest with you, I'm of the belief that when it comes to transfer portal quarterbacks, like we can throw 50, 60 quarterbacks in there, but the ones that have played are the ones that have coveted. Those guys who have performed, have a large sample size. I don't care what level that it's at. If you've proven that you're productive and you can sustain consistency, you're going to be coveted in the transfer portal. And I agree with you, Jim. It doesn't matter who the head coach is at Auburn. If Byrum Brown was in the transfer portal, I mean, we do our rankings. We've got a top 50 ranking. We've got a quarterback ranking. We've got Byrum in the top 5 overall, regardless of position, because he's been remarkably productive. He's dynamic. I think he'll make the transition really, really well.
I guess the difference in bringing in, I'm just going to use this example, Jackson Arnold, who had never played with Hugh Freeze, versus a Byrum Brown. Obviously, there's an ability difference between Arnold and Brown, not that. But just the familiarity already, knowing what the coach is thinking all the time, knowing the system, knowing the inflection of the coach's voice when you hear it in your headset, all those things, like you can't put a price tag on that, can you?
No, because I think it affects everybody else in the locker room too, because now all of a sudden he becomes an extra coach. He's the guy that's, wrangling the troops and getting out and throwing 7-on-7 and 1-on-1 and teaching them the offense and how you want to do it and how it's going to be expected to be done. I think he's a bit of a ringleader. He's a guy that people will gravitate towards. I also think that, prior, to the transfer portal coming to a close here shortly, his attractiveness will hopefully, gain some attention on behalf of other prospects, particularly offensive skill, that would like to land somewhere where there's a proven commodity under center.
That's a great point. So you're saying quarterback in place now, maybe that begets a wide receiver or two to fall out of the trees.
You'd like to think so. I mean, if I'm a wide out and I'm in the portal and I'm a really good player, I'm looking around and I'm saying, okay, who's got a quarterback? Who gives me a chance to flourish?
Yeah. You see what I did there? That was broadcasting 101. I took what you said, I rephrased it so that you added on there for a good soundbite. That's the kind of stuff you get at Monday Morning Live all season long, where I add nothing to the show except to set Luginbill up to do that.
Repackaging Luginbill's lives, yes.
Luginbill's one of my favorites. He's on the Shannara hotline with us today. Now to Alabama, they get a running back. Now, you got Crowell, who is a 5-star plus guy coming in. He's elite. He's going to be a true freshman coming in. You've still got some talent there in A.K. Deere and Daniel Hill and Riley who have done something. So what does Hollywood Smothers from NC State bring to the table? You're on that ACC network all the time. Yeah. You saw this guy a lot. Tell me what Alabama's getting in Hollywood Smothers.
So he's a different type of back in terms of size and structure than what they've been playing with Jam Miller or Hill. He's a little bit more, I don't want to call him a scat back because he's not vastly undersized, but he's also not a power back either. He's one of those guys that's kind of a slashing style of runner, hits the hole really quick. He's going to bring an explosive element. And one of the things that's actually deceptively good about him is even though he's not a power back, he's got great contact balance. He's hard to tackle. I would label him as being slippery. He's also a very good player in the passing game too. So I think, getting him on the perimeter, getting him in space, the outside stretch, the cutback on the inside zone, those are all areas where he will flourish. And again, another guy with a large sample size of productivity. And you're turning on the tape and you're watching a guy. There's plenty there to tell you whether he improves you or not, or whether you just be taking on another guy because you need a running back. He's been one of the most productive guys at the position the last 2 years in college football.
Would this be a true statement? Okay, on the surface, if my running backs are Daniel Hill, Isaiah Crowell, the incoming freshman, A.K. Deere, and Hollywood Smothers, if Alabama cannot run the football, it's not because of talent at running back. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think that would be a fair statement. I think there's plenty of guys to choose from. I saw Oregon and JMU in the first round of the playoff, and they're sitting there with 4 running backs they're rotating through. 2 of them are true freshmen, and they just got talent at that position. And then so obviously you got to start looking forward and saying, okay, well, what are we doing up front? How talented are we up front? How do we get this thing going? That will not be a lack of talent from the running back position.
As we sit here and talk with Tom Luginbill, Forrester lets me know that defensive tackle James Smith has just hit the portal from Alabama, a guy that plays with a nasty attitude. I loved his game all year long. So he is a portal guy as we speak, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. Luginbill, I'm comfortable enough to ask you this question because of our Monday Morning Live, and you'll bail me out if it's a dumb question.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so you're used to it. Don't worry.
So bear with me. I mean, this could be an extremely dumb question. But for Alabama fans who are watching the transition to Kalen DeBoer and Kane Womack and the way they scheme football, all the talent in the world with Nick Saban as he leaves, and they inherit that. But just because you have a bunch of 5- and 4-star guys, they don't necessarily fit perfectly into the way DeBoer and Womack scheme football.
Sure.
Okay, so now you can't come in and flush the roster of 5- and 4-star guys. Everybody will look at you and think you're an idiot. We're getting closer and closer to a Womack and DeBoer roster here, and maybe a Smothers fits that more, and some of the guys they're bringing in. I guess what I'm asking, nobody looks at Kalen DeBoer at Alabama and says transition period when you're inheriting what Nick Saban left behind. But has there been some kind of a transition period for Kalen DeBoer and Kane Womack to get the type players that fit their scheme? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there is with every coaching staff that takes a job. This one's just a unique job because of who you followed and the tenure of Nick Saban and the accomplishments there. The scrutiny is going to be at the highest level of maybe anybody in college football. And so, I had a coach say to me one time, we were in a staff meeting and I was frustrated with a guy, and he said, "Stop telling me what he can't do and tell me what he can do. Because if this is who we have right now, and maybe this isn't ideally what we want to be, we got to figure out how to make this work now until we start to transition, as you put it, into maybe having some guys that we would like to do some different things with that we think fit better than maybe a couple of guys here that we inherited." It's kind of like in recruiting. I remember Coach Saban, I had a conversation with him, and we were talking in-state recruiting. We were talking about recruiting in the state of Alabama. And, there would be a guy here or a guy out of Mobile or a guy out of Gadsden or somebody, locally out of Tuscaloosa. And the guy would have 5, 10, 15 offers. And Alabama hadn't offered him. And he would very simply say, listen, we might think that guy's a really good player. And we like him. We think he's a great kid. But for what we need and what we do, he doesn't fit for us. What happens is the leap immediately goes to, what is Alabama doing? Why are they not recruiting this kid? And this is when Nick Saban was there. How can we not be signing this guy? Well, what outsiders don't realize is the internal side of that. And I'm sure Kane Womack, Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, they've been going through that now for 2 cycles. And some are going to fit, some are not going to fit. Some you want to try to interchange or move positions. And it's a process, and it doesn't happen overnight. Now, it's easy to sit there and say, well, it can happen overnight because of the transfer portal, right? But we're also talking about Alabama here. And just like everybody else, an Ohio State, a Clemson, a Georgia, an LSU, a Texas, there's only so many guys in the transfer portal that are going to be better than what those types of programs are playing with. So you have to be very, very selective in making those choices.
ESPN's Tom Luginbill is with us on the Alexander Shenard Trial Attorneys Hotline. Let's talk about the games on the field. You've coached the game. Your dad was a legendary coach on the college level, and you know how coaching works. Is it sustainable for Charlie Weiss Jr., primarily because he's a play caller, to serve 2 masters and still be effective? Is there a way to do this if he's going to have to do it Thursday night and perhaps even for another game if Ole Miss can win against Miami?
Well, it was doable for the first 2 weeks. Why wouldn't it be for the third?
Well, I mean, I could probably run every day for 2 weeks, Luginbill, but by that third week, my body might be broken down.
Well, listen, I think, this is, you get into the profession and this is what you accept. This is what is going to be part of the profession. It's going to be intense, long hours. You're going to have to budget your time. You're going to have to figure, you might have to wake up 2 hours earlier in the morning and stay up 2 hours later in the evening. And cram it all in. Here's what I would say, and this has become a big topic of discussion with the staff. And I know I was on SportsCenter this morning, and Heather Dinich reported that of the 6 coaches that have been pulling double duty, only 2 will go to Phoenix. Okay, well, listen, you can go all the way back, guys, to when all of this initial discussion started happening with the rumor mill circuit about Lane Kiffin. Okay, so let's just take the last month, 5 weeks of the regular season. All of these distractions, all of this discussion, not one time did that football team falter. That football team showed up and played, worried about what they could control, not what they couldn't control. The team clearly, and the coaching staff and the people that were in that building clearly prepared that football team really, really well. Pete Golding prepared that football team really, really well to win that game versus Georgia. Now, I'm watching that game the other day, and I'm going, all this talk about Lane Kiffin coaching in the playoff, would Lane Kiffin have mattered in the Georgia game?
It may have hurt them, actually. Some of his decision-making, being silly and aggressive at certain times, could have hurt them.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. And so I think you got to give a lot of credit here to the players and to their belief in one another, the fact that they haven't fallen victim to all of the discussion that's been surrounding them. Now, they just so happen that they've got a hell of a player playing quarterback, so that helps any play caller on either side of the ball. But they've got their 2 play callers and head coach Pete Golding and Charlie Weiss Jr. Internally, they've had a contingency plan for their staff and their manpower to have to make some adjustments. They knew that was going to happen. So you make the plan and you go attack it, whether it's somebody like Joe Judge or any number of maybe even younger quality control type guys that have had to take on a bigger role. As long as the message remains the same, I don't really think you're going to see an issue here. Is it hard on those coaches? Yeah, they're getting paid a lot of money for it to be hard.
Yeah, I want to ask you actually X's and O's. When you got 2 guys like Bain and Messidor, if you're Ole Miss, do you try to tire? I mean, I know this sounds silly, but do you try to tire them out early by running them side to side as much as you can, so that maybe they're not as fast in the third and fourth quarters?
Well, if you can outrun them. Hey, guys, I had a pregame, halftime, and postgame show for ACC Network at the Cotton Bowl. So during the game, I'm just watching the sideline as a spectator. Miami should be arrested for felony assault for what they did to Ohio State. I have never seen that happen to an Ohio State football team. And the thing is, Miami is so talented. And all of the discussion about Miami has never been about how good they are. Jim, you and I have talked about it on Mondays. But what was the discussion all about? Well, do they belong in the playoff? They didn't play in the ACC championship game. They didn't win the conference. Why are we putting them in there? So Miami bursts on the scene in the early 80s, and they become the big bad wolf, right? They're the intimidator. They go out and they just kick everybody's tail. Now they're kind of relishing the underdog role. They're in a different element right now, and they're feeding off of it, because instead of everybody talking about, hey, wait a minute, Miami's pretty damn good, nobody's giving them the credit that they are due. To get back to your question, if you can handle Miami up front, then yes, I think that would be a good approach early. The problem is they're so dominant one-on-one that it's hard to control the line of scrimmage. I would actually say maybe the bigger X factor in this is, if you're Miami, is how do you contain Trinidad Chambliss? How do you force him to play from within the pocket? Because he put on a clinic against Georgia.
He did.
And every time it looked like there's going to be a 6 or 7 or 8 yard loss, he pulls a rabbit out of the hat and creates a massive play. If you're Miami, I think you got to prevent that first and foremost and force him to play within a phone booth.
On the Friday night game in Atlanta, we've seen this game once. Indiana was the more physical, dominant team. They controlled that game at Austin, which is tough to do. How have they fixed that under Dan Lanning? How can they fix that between what we saw in the regular season versus what we saw Indiana do to Alabama at the Rose Bowl?
Well, listen, we also saw Texas Tech do that to the right side of Oregon's offensive line repeatedly in that game, even though, obviously Oregon was clearly the better team, but they struggled in the offensive line a little bit on the right side. I would actually throw this back at you guys, because I think this is one of the most glossed over things about Indiana that doesn't get talked about enough. It's two things. Number one, you cannot make mistakes against Indiana. They are one of the most flawless, high-level executing football teams. I think they're the best prepared and the best coached football team in college football. Do you know that they've only turned the ball over 8 times all year long?
It's crazy.
Wow.
How about this? They only have 11 penalties on defense the entire year.
That's
not even possible.
I know. I was going to say that's impossible, actually.
Right? They don't beat themselves. They don't take negative plays. They don't give up explosive plays. They're outstanding in the kicking game. They just wait for you to screw it up. So in order for Oregon to win this game, they can't make mistakes. That's the thing, because Indiana will not do that. And I think that's going to be something really interesting to watch. Now, hey, we're sitting here talking about this, and for all we know, Indiana could go out and lay an egg and turn the ball over 4 times. They haven't yet.
He is ESPN's Tom Luginbill. See him throughout the football season, obviously, with Dunaway, but Lugs joins us throughout the offseason as well. We always love talking to Lugs. Thank you for the time, Tom. We appreciate it as always. Enjoy the games.
You bet, guys. Enjoy the games. Have a great week.
All right, buddy. We'll see you, Luginbill, with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
A rare calling him Tom. It's like he did something wrong.
That's his Christian name is Tom.
Tom, get your ass in here.
We call him Lugs.
Yeah.
Or Steve Spurrier called him Loogie.
Yeah. All right. Before we got one more thing in the viewing menu before we get to Clay Travis at the top of the hour, being brought to you today in part by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Tell us about those great folks.
You can make it your club home in Birmingham, ICCalabama.com for more information on Inverness Country Club. That is the website to go to. You can find everything there, ICCalabama.com. Find out how to become a member at Inverness Country Club. You can also call our friend Erin, 205-991-8608, 205-991-8608 for Inverness Country Club. Ask for Erin. Tell her the next round told you to call, and we said this is the place you want to be a member. Great clubhouse facility with amazing food, great resort-style pool. They are building a brand-new tennis clubhouse. So all you tennis players, brand new clubhouse coming your way there at Inverness Country Club. And the course is fantastic as well. I love the time we spend out there. My family has loved it, and your family can as well. Inverness Country Club, ICCalabama.com, or call Erin and tell her the next round said this is the place you need to be. 205-991-8608. 205-991-8608.
And our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Lunch today, dinner tonight. Those great deli-style sandwiches you get in the Big Apple, they got them for you in Cahaba Heights and Greystone. nybutcher.com is the website. Or just go by and see Jim and the guys there. They serve the fresh meats, the specialty items, the deli sandwiches, the smoked meats, the prepared foods, which we use all the time, but the best steak and wine selection in town. And it's a butcher shop, so they actually cut the chops for you right there. nybutcher.com. The great location, Jim and the guys, Cahaba Heights and Greystone. Check them out online right there and go see those folks. All right, just so you're up to date on what is happening for Ole Miss, and again, it feels like most of the SEC would love to see Ole Miss go on and win this national championship for the good of the league, but also for in spite of Lane Kiffin at this point. Travel day today to Phoenix. But here's what the assistant coaches had to do yesterday. Charlie Weiss Jr. and Kevin Smith in Oxford for practice, flew to Baton Rouge for recruiting on Monday, then flew back to Oxford and will coach in the game. Will travel to Phoenix with the team today. Charlie Weiss Jr., the play caller, Kevin Smith, the running back coach. Joe Cox, a guy you saw a lot of during the broadcast against Georgia, he's the co-offensive coordinator, tight end coach. He's the guy with the headsets down on the sidelines, getting the information from Charlie Weiss Jr. down on the sidelines. Will not coach in the semifinals. Staying in Baton Rouge, did not come back. George McDonald, wide receiver coach, passing game coordinator, will not coach. Staying at LSU. So Charlie Weiss Jr. and Kevin Smith, according to Mark Schlabach and Heather Dinich, the only two of the LSU 6 to be coaching moving forward now to Ole Miss. And I don't know about Kevin Smith Jr., but it has been widely reported that Charlie Weiss Jr., as I said yesterday, told Lane Kiffin to have a Coke and a smile. If you're not letting me go coach these guys until the end, I'm not going with you to LSU. And he has said many times, I'm with these guys till the end, and I'm very happy to be the future at LSU. But right now, I got to take care of Ole Miss before I go to LSU.
Volfan in the Volfan 205 in the chat says, what exactly is Greg Sankey doing if he isn't stepping in to stop a conference team from trying to actively torpedo the only conference team left in the playoffs?
He has no, I don't think he has any authority.
Well, but even if he does, even if he's got authority in that, I guess I would ask Volfan 205, and I don't know the answer because he's in the chat. If this were Tennessee, would you want Sankey doing that? Would you want Sankey telling Tennessee, sorry, can't have that guy out recruiting, can't have that guy evaluating, he's got to stay at Ole Miss?
Pete Golding said it yesterday in a news conference. They're grown men. That's their decision what they want to do. They're no longer employees here. And they're employees at LSU. So LSU is allowing Charlie Weiss and Kevin Smith to do that, to continue to coach. Now, if they don't want to be employees at LSU anymore, they can make that grown man decision too and be employees again at Ole Miss. But right now, they're employees at LSU. So,
well, I mean, I've wondered the answer to this, and I don't know, so I shouldn't ask it aloud, but I'm going to anyway. What's the contract situation? Those guys were under contract to Ole Miss. Did Ole Miss void their contract? Have they already accepted the buyout for those contracts? Should the contract expire at the end of the year? You know.
Yes, and yes.
I mean, those are all potentially yeses. So I think that would kind of settle a lot of this. Is who are they under contract with?
Yeah, Pete Golding, his words were, they're not employees of mine anymore.
Well, then they're under contract with LSU.
Yeah,
that's the answer to that question.
So they're grown men. They're making grown men decisions. Yeah. Michelson brings you the viewing menu every day. Tell us about Michelson Laser Vision.
Well, you can go see Doctors Mark and Jennifer Michelson and start the new year with better vision. That's a father-daughter combo that are the pioneers in LASIK surgery. MichelsonLaserVision.com is the website. MichelsonLaserVision.com. 205-969-8100 is the number to call. Perhaps LASIK vision to solve your distance vision issues is right for you. It's certainly right for Lance, can be right for you as well. You can call the Michelson team and find out by getting a free evaluation there. Go in and see them and see if it's right for you. Amy will answer the phone. Tell Amy the next round sent you, and you won't Lance Taylor's vision. Michelson Laser Vision, 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
So last night I went to the Scream Unseen. I saw Primate, the chimpanzee rabies movie.
And?
It was awesome.
Awesome.
It was good?
I loved every bit of this movie. It is peak stupid B horror.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay.
It is exactly as goofy as it looks. The chimp CGI kind of looks like a little uncanny valley, so you're looking at it going, that's not really a chimpanzee, but it still is unsettling. The dialogue is goofy, just so goofy. It opens up with a zookeeper taking care of little Ben, the chimpanzee, and he's talking about how he had gas station sushi last night, and he's paying for it today. I don't know why that's in the movie, but I love that it's there. If you're looking for just a dumb, violent horror movie, go see Primate. It is so much fun.
Now, when you say that, if I went, do I ever get scared, or do I laugh throughout it?
You'll laugh, but I mean, what's your tolerance for horror movies?
Jump scares, I can't stand them, and it's not the actual jump scare; it's the anticipation of a jump scare.
Oh yeah, stay out of this one.
Do not even go.
Yes.
Like somebody walking down a hallway, and I just know one of the doors he's walking past, something's going to jump out. I can't stand it.
Oh yeah, you would not like this movie. Then.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the chimpanzees grabbing people from the pool and lifting them up, hanging from.
Well, don't spoil it for me.
That's right. He may see it after all.
But moving on, Hulu has added a great movie to its catalog that went under the radar last year. The Luckiest Man in America. It's Paul Walter Hauser as
it's Jim Dunaway.
Name. It's what's that?
It's him as Jim Dunaway, right?
It's your life story.
Paul Hauser is Jim Dunaway. I'm the luckiest man in America.
Today. I consider myself.
That one hasn't been made yet.
Oh, okay. He's not playing me.
Michael Keaton could do it, though.
This is about the guy who cheated the Press Your Luck team. He memorized patterns and went on the show.
The the Game Show Network documentary on that's fantastic.
Yep. And this is based on that, and in addition to Paul Walter Hauser, it's got Walton Goggins as the game show host.
Yep. This has promise. I liked the documentary on it, so I'll give this one a shot.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Moving on, 2 of my favorite horror movies from last year got added to Prime, and that's Alien Romulus and Final Destination Bloodlines. Alien Romulus takes place between Alien 1 and Aliens. And it really takes the franchise back to its roots, rooted in horror. And Final Destination Bloodlines was shockingly good. Final Destination falls in that cheesy horror, just slop that you just kind of turn on and watch whenever on a rainy day. Bloodlines, I really enjoyed. And then finally, on today's viewing menu, if you're not interested in horror, you don't want to watch a new movie, you just want a comfort comedy, then on Paramount at 7:25, you can watch Tommy Boy.
Oh,
that's
a good
funny
movie.
Yeah,
love that.
A lot of laughs.
All right, that's how Tyler's watching. Clay Travis coming up on the other side. Don't forget Auburn basketball tonight, 8 o'clock, Texas A&M at Auburn. Yesterday, AP poll came out. Arizona and Michigan separated just by 1 point, 1-2, virtual tie at the top. Vandy 11, Alabama 13, Arkansas 15, Georgia 18, Tennessee 21. Only 5 SEC teams ranked in the AP top 25 this week. Bama at Vandy, the 2 highest ranked, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock in Nashville. Clay talks a little NFL and college football with us on the other side. This is The Next Round, brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Oh, watch out, lady. What are you doing? Oh, wait. Come on, man. Shouty just destroyed my whip.
Say, little man, you need to call Alexander Sonara, man.
What the hell? Yeah, Alexander Sonara trial attorney. I heard they get you paid quick, fast, and in a hurry. With 500 attorneys. And staff holding it down for clients they've represented in 50 states. 659-777-7777. Or Sonara.com. Alexander Sonara trial attorney suing the insurance company, not the individual. Call me, Alabama. Legal services provided are billed at any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Since you ate your Captain Crunch this morning, Byrum Brown to Auburn in the portal, QB1 for them, and Alabama has now lost James Smith. 15 games he played in, started most of them, and because of eligibility, Overton, Keenan, and now Smith to the portal, Alabama's entire starting defensive front not back for next year.
Yeah, or their offensive front primarily. So the entire line of scrimmage for Alabama just about is gone or in the portal. Clay Travis coming right up. Bojangles bringing you this part of the show. You can always make it bow time with Bojangles. That Bowberry biscuit, a great way to start your day. Maybe your team won't lose a bunch of guys to the portal if you start with a Bowberry biscuit tomorrow. Try that. Put a little chicken tender inside of that. Also, those great chicken tenders and those Bow Bites are available right now for lunch and dinner at Bojangles. Also, the watch parties for football games as they continue. Let Bojangles handle that, from the fried chicken to the tenders to the peach honey pepper dipping sauce of those Bow Bites and the biscuits, the tea, everything right there with our friends at Bojangles, where you can always make it bow time. Clay Travis is the founder of Outkick, at Clay Travis on social media. He is with us now. What is up, Clay? How are you today?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Boy, how about that Alabama performance against Indiana? They really brought it.
You picked the Crimson Tide to win, if memory serves.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes. Probably got more hate for that than any prediction that I've had so far this year. Also said Alabama should be in the playoffs. So go figure. I'm just too much of a Bama guy, I guess.
I guess so. Too much Bama in you. I would say this, and I said it the day after the game, and I'm curious to your thought on this, and this is a hard pill to swallow for traditional fans of, Alabama and Texas and Ohio State. But having a Final Four that includes Indiana, Ole Miss, and really even Miami coming back, I think is healthy for the sport. I think the sport is healthier when a handful of teams don't dominate it.
I think that's probably true. I mean, the healthiest sport in all of America is the NFL. And what is it? Basically almost every year since 2003, you've had teams that can go from worst to first, meaning last place in their division to first place in their division. And I mean, look, I think it's impossible to argue that we're not in a new era when Vanderbilt can win 10 games in the regular season, when Duke can win the ACC, and when Indiana can be the best team in football. If I had told you 3 years ago that was going to be the case, you would have put me in a straitjacket. And I think really what you're seeing is with the transfer portal, we can swing very quickly from awful to good back to awful again. There's just going to be way more variation depending on do the right guys get signed, do the right guys get hit, who stays healthy. I think college football has become much more like the NFL. And I think that's a reality going forward that's going to be the case for some time to come.
Clay Travis is with us. As we sit here and watch this playoff unfold, give me how well you think Pete Golding is handling everything and how you think Lane Kiffin is handling everything. You're so great on a big picture mindset. Golding's job performance and Lane Kiffin, the way he's handling this public relation wise.
Well, look, I mean, I think Ole Miss, that game that they played against Georgia was, I mean, probably the greatest win in Ole Miss football history. And it was just an electric game. And I think he has, circled the proverbial wagons for Ole Miss and convinced the team that they have the motivating factor, which is one of the most, I think, best motivating factors out there at all, which is us against the world. And that concept that everybody else hates us and nobody else is going to support us. And I think the Lane Kiffin departure has created that dynamic, and he's ridden it well. For Lane, I mean, if we end up with a situation where Ole Miss is playing for a championship, I think a lot of people are going to find Lane to be a very attractive villain because you left Ole Miss supposedly because your team couldn't win a championship, and now your team is in the Final Four. I don't know how many years it'll take Lane Kiffin to get to the Final Four at LSU, but it reminds me a bit of what happened to Brian Kelly. When he left Notre Dame because he didn't think Notre Dame was able to get him to where he wanted to go. And then Marcus Freeman came in and has had more success at Notre Dame than Brian Kelly did leaving for LSU. So again, that sort of larger story narrative that I think is characterizing college football right now. I think job has never mattered less. I think the playing field, the parity has become much more even. I think that leaving for another job because you think it's better is going to be difficult, I think, to get guys to do. You might leave because you like the person you're going to work for. You might leave because you have a connection to a program and you like it better. But I think this whole idea of, hey, the grass is way greener somewhere else, I don't necessarily know that I buy that anymore.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I think Indiana is showing that. Ole Miss is showing that. You can win anywhere where you've got commitment to NIL. Like, I mean,
right.
Texas Tech, Clay, was trying to buy their way into the national championship game. They came up short of that, but they bought their way into the playoffs basically in 1 year. I mean,
and they just gave $5 million to a quarterback in Brendan Sorsby, and I think the math is, you guys can correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I was doing the dive in here. I think Brendan Sorsby next year is going to make more money playing for Texas Tech than Shedeur Sanders is scheduled to make for the first 4 years of his contract with the Cleveland Browns. Now, Shedeur may be able to make additional endorsement money outside and, things like that. By the way, I'm sure Sorsby can too. But I do think, I mean, look, Ty Simpson, I think, is working through this right now. If you're not a first-round pick, Ty Simpson could probably make several $1 million coming back and playing college football. So what he's got to figure out is, I think most people would say Mendoza and Moore are 1-2. If he's 3, how far is the drop to 3? Is it second round, third round, late first round? I mean, there's a huge difference in terms of the guaranteed money you can get there. And does he look around and say, boy, I could be Cam Ward if I come back and perform at a really high level, then I could be the consensus number 1 overall pick, and not even cost myself that much money because I'm going to make a couple of $1 million playing college football. So anyway, I just think this is a world in which many different permutations and aspects have to be considered in a way that has never occurred before.
Yeah, it's so when we do these annual rank the best college football jobs, I don't know that you can really do it anymore because we used to rank it on all lifetime success. I can win there. Where can you recruit? I can recruit there. Facilities, these facilities. You can see all those things. I don't see NIL. Like I don't know what's real and what's not.
I remember thinking about this. I think I went like back-to-back days when I did local sports talk radio. We did one show at the University of Tennessee, and then the next day we were at the Tennessee Titans. The local affiliate radio station where I worked had the Vols and the Titans, right? And I remember comparing the overall quality of the facility for the Tennessee Titans and the University of Tennessee. And the University of Tennessee facilities were orders of magnitude better than the Tennessee Titans facilities. And I think I remember saying on the radio show, it was because you were allowed to spend money on everything but the players, right? You could have the penumbra, sort of the surroundings could be spectacular in college athletics, but you weren't allowed to technically be paying the players. And so the money in the NFL primarily went to the players, and the money in college primarily went to the facilities. And I think all that's being tossed out the window now. And the other thing I'll tell you is, for most of our careers, man, how big of a deal was signing day? Who's coming? How many 5-stars are you going to get? What 4-star is going to pick up a cap on signing day and fits your program so well? I don't even know that I care about signing classes at all.
Yeah.
Because if you're a successful freshman or sophomore, you're going to hit the portal. And it's like, well, how many guys are actually going to stay 4 or 5 years at any program? It's really just it's a level of sport free agency that has never existed before. And I don't know where it's going to go, but I think it's just hard to kind of predict.
Before you get out of here, what a show last night in Nashville at Vanderbilt Stadium, the FCS National Championship game, Montana State winning in overtime over Illinois State 35-34. The house was packed. It was just a beautiful, exciting thing. Doesn't the G5 deserve that kind of ending, in your opinion?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't think that Tulane and JMU had any business being in the college football playoff, either the 12 or the 16 or the 24 or whatever the final number ends up being. And it's not just me saying that. Nobody wants to watch those games. The television ratings are awful because, I think Nick Saban said it well when he said it's basically like letting a AAA team go to the Major League World Series. It's not the same sport. And so I understand the argument from those guys being, we're big time FBS quality schools as well. But I do think it's inevitable that we're going to end up with insert 65, 70 schools that have the resources to really compete for championships at an FBS level. And that number might even be a little bit high. And then you're going to have everybody else. And, I do think if you watch that game last night at Vanderbilt Stadium, it's hard not to think, hey, going forward, isn't that better than being one of those G5 teams? Now, they may say, hey, we love going to bowl games. There's nothing wrong with the Pop-Tart Bowl or whatever you're in. And that may well be the case, too, because people still watch bowl games. People like football on television. I do think, though, the number of people that are willing to go buy tickets to watch bowl games is going to continue to dwindle, and we're increasingly going to be in a position where it's essentially a product only for television, not for in-person viewership.
You may not know the answer to this, but I think I heard Clark Lee on game day say now that they've addressed the end zones at that stadium, the next step is they're going to, I think, level and redo the sideline seats at Vanderbilt Stadium to try to upgrade that. Do you know that?
I don't know that to be true. I do know the end zones are incredible. I don't know if you've been to if you guys have been in those end zones.
No.
The suites in both end zones. I think the nicest stadium that I've been in the SEC, I don't know if you guys would agree, is Texas A&M.
Yes.
They have the biggest and best high-end suites of any of those stadiums. I mean, they're spectacular. I think Vanderbilt has the second best suites of any stadium I've been into now.
Yeah, I mean, well, God, they're brand new. I would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those that as soon as you build it, somebody's going to build something nicer. But if you're the newest one and not the best one, you've wasted your money, really.
Yeah, but I agree with you.
I think the challenge on some of these stadiums is they're so old.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff is really difficult to be able to do in a high-end fashion. And I think that's one of the challenges that, just from a pure engineering perspective, a lot of these schools have gotten into is it's really hard to rehab. It's almost easier sometimes. Vanderbilt basically just tore down that old stadium. And I think, look, the concrete sides do need to be retrofitted. And I think what they're working towards is actually the era that's going to make more sense going forward. I'm not sure 100,000 seat stadiums are going to make sense in an HD future. I tend to think people are going to want smaller stadiums with better amenities. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But I've sat in the upper decks of just about every SEC stadium at some point in time. It's a lot better experience watching games on television than it is sitting in really bad seats at the very top of a stadium.
Yeah. To your point, Clay, the Final Four of the college football playoffs this year, the biggest stadium is just over 68,000. They're between all four stadiums are between 56 and 68,000 in attendance, and so you can be a small stadium and be good at football too. So I'm with you.
Look up what the new Titan Stadium is going to be, because it's going to be pretty awesome. I think when it's done, this coming year, 26. Is the last year they're supposed to be playing in the old stadium where they are now. And I want to say it's going to seat like 55 or 58.
Wow.
But be really, really high end in terms of, and so, some of that they can retrofit for concerts and whatnot to add more seating, depending on what the floor situation is. But it's going to be indoors, and it's going to be pretty extraordinary, I think.
I mean, you can get the Super Bowl with that number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Nashville will have the 2029 or 2030 Super Bowl. And again, the Super Bowl, people want really high-end. The Super Bowl is basically just a junket for rich people, right? I mean, it is not a lot of fans. I mean, maybe 15%, 20% of the overall stadium is really diehard fans of either team. And then you just got a lot of rich dudes. And so people want amenities more than they want, tickets.
The postseason college games in Atlanta, and I assume they'll do this Friday night, they actually add seats in the upper levels. They hold more than the Falcons games hold for the SEC championship and the national championship, things like that.
Yeah. So. Approximately 60,000 is the one in Nashville, and I think 60,000. I think you're right on that, but I think 60,000 is the number.
The NFL minimum?
The minimum for the Super Bowl. So to get to 60, I think that's why that number is so important there. But to your point, it's very, very small.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Titans seat 60 soon. And they seat over 100,000 in Knoxville. So that's a pretty big difference for a 3-hour drive.
Yeah. Yep. All right, he is Clay Travis. Follow him on social media at Clay Travis. See him on Fox, and he is the founder of Outkick as well. Clay, thank you very much for the time. Good talking with you again.
Hey, appreciate you all. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy. We'll see you, Clay, with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Brought to you by our friends at Crane U today, Brownie. Tell us about a way you can change your careers here in 2026.
Yeah, I mean, do you know how to drive a crane? I certainly do not. If you're a crane driver, do you know where you go to stay updated on all of your, the training you need and things like that? I don't. Crane U is the place. Get the crane training you need, whether you're looking to start a new career or you want to level up your certifications, train your team. Crane U has got you covered with a variety of comprehensive crane training, crane certification, and crane inspection services. These services are available at the facility right here in Birmingham for Crane U, or they can bring the training to you. Use your equipment, your location, nationwide, does not matter. So make your job easier and your job site safer with Crane U. Safety equipment training and inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Certification classes are offered every month, so call our friends at Crane U 855-9-CRANE-U. That's 855-9-CRANE-U. Or visit them on the web, craneu.com. That is craneu.com.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I had someone stop me yesterday when I was walking the dogs, and they're like, really? Does this work? Because I hear you talk about it all the time. And I said, look at me. Does it work? I mean, I've got 2 little dogs and me. I don't know which one weighs more, one of the little dogs or me. 177 today, and it helps keep the weight loss. Way to Wellness. Leslie, her board-certified team, aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free. So you can get details there without any coming out of pocket for any money to see if you like the program at all. Injection therapy, meal replacements. I use protein bars to prevent from bad snacking. They got a variety of different plans for you, all at a great cost. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
The College Football Spotlight.
It is the Shannara Spotlight presented each day by our guy, Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. You know, Alexander Shannara handles personal injury cases. But did you know he handles much more than that? How about claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims? And he's done it very successfully to the tune of more than $2 billion recovered for his clients. $2 billion with a B recovered for his clients. That's Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shannara.com. Shannara.com.
Okay, our soundbite of the day from Mario Cristobal. This is so true of modern-day college football. Back in the day, you needed to almost go unbeaten or lose early, and it was really a testament to being good from August all the way through November and then taking a month off and being good on January 1st. Now, it's surviving the regular season, having enough resume to make the playoffs, and being good right now. Here's Miami's Mario Cristobal.
Yeah, I mean, you could cut it so many different ways, and any way you cut it, there's going to be an issue, a complaint, right? An unsatisfied customer. I mean, I guess it's a recurrent theme with something we've always talked about. What it does do is at least you get to place value against, once again, on head-to-head competition, right? You get to settle it on the field and teams move on and some teams don't. Now, getting into that point, again, it's just an imperfect science unless it's completely consolidated in a format that no one has a solution for. So seeing the way things played out just goes to show you that college football has become a lot like the NFL, that on any given day, any team at any level, if you're not at your very best, you can get beat.
So hot at the right time. Yeah. Ohio State lost its last game to its rival last year and then went to the playoffs and ran the table. Almost New York Giants like a couple of times with Eli Manning. That's what Miami's trying to do. Virtually last team in, trying to get hot at the right time and win a national championship.
Like I would be in this year's NFL playoffs, and we can discuss this more obviously as we get closer to the playoffs. I just want to ask you, I said on social media, and I probably need to add the Steelers to this, that the only teams that would stun me if they were in the Super Bowl are the Chargers, Panthers, and I guess I need to add the Steelers. Would you agree with that? I mean, stun you.
Well, I don't see how you throw the Chargers in there.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at their path. That's not a very easy path.
Well, it's not an easy path.
Justin Herbert in the postseason has not been good.
Yeah. To me, Carolina, Jacksonville.
Oh, Jacksonville would stun you.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
It would. And then I would throw Pittsburgh in there. I just don't know if they can do enough.
Yeah. And I think maybe moving forward, that's what we'll get in the college football playoffs based on this year. I mean, Miami was debated whether they should be in or not. They got an 11th hour reprieve from the governor just to get in the thing. And now they've got a really good shot at playing for the national championship. Ole Miss is the same way. Like, Ole Miss was solidly in, but nobody looked at Ole Miss, especially losing a head coach, and said that team will play for the national championship. Yet here we are. And to me, that's going to make the college football playoff far more exciting if we can get this more often than not. That once you, like, you'll see some of these NFL teams starting Saturday, they will look totally different. They'll play a different level of football than they have played all year long. It's just the way it goes in the NFL playoffs. And the closer we can get to that in the college playoffs, to me, the more entertaining it will be.
Joe Shad, while we're talking about down in Miami, he sent out a graphic earlier today of the past 4 seasons of NFL football in the state of Florida.
I saw this.
4 seasons, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and Miami. Now, Tampa Bay, this first year, they've missed the playoffs. And I think Jacksonville's gone there twice in those 4 years, Miami once in those 4 years. All 3 franchises in the NFL are 35 and 33, identical in those 4 years together.
Yeah.
A lot of mediocrity.
Here he is in the state of Florida.
And then Reddit College Football points out that in the college game, FAU, massive losing record. FIU, massive losing record. Florida, 23 and 27. USF, 24 and 27. UCF, 24 and 27. FSU, because of that one great year, 30 and 21, without them going 13 and 0 that year before losing.
If they just do their normal year.
They're right near mediocrity. And it's Miami, actually, in the last 4 years, 34 and 18, the Hurricanes. Now, what do they have to show for it? Nothing until they got in the playoffs and they won 2 games.
This is the most they've ever had to show for it right now at this moment. And I will say these first 2 games they've played is the closest we've seen Miami be to the Miami you and I grew up on than they've been in a very long time. Just the swagger that Mesidor and Bain play with and the way they are so dominant. That's, you think about those Miami teams and the showboating and Michael Irvin and all that, but what did those Miami teams all have in common? Whether it was Russell Maryland or Warren Sapp up front, those teams dominated you when they were a legitimate college football program that was winning championships.
Before we come back and talk more about some movements, I will point out that Miami gets to keep their $14 million in payout so far from the college football playoffs to themselves. They don't have to share it with any other ACC teams. Part of the new success initiative, the success incentive that the ACC came up with in the wake of the Clemson Florida State lawsuit, part of the settlement, the deal that they worked out was, all right, if you are successful in football and basketball, you get to keep the postseason to yourself. You don't have to share it with other league members. So $14 million strong, straight to Miami without being shared by other ACC partners, by the way, including Florida State and Clemson, who didn't get any cut of that money. So that success for Miami is putting money back into their pocket, not being shared with other ACC teams. CPAP Plus, part of the show today, Brownie, Sleep Home Alabama.
That is an easy website to go to, sleephomealabama.com. Our friends at O'Neill Medical and CPAP Plus. Someone in the chat yesterday just asked, where's the place you talk about with the CPAP? It's very easy to remember, CPAP Plus. But it's an easier website to remember, and you can find out everything, including all of their locations and how to get in touch with them. It is CPAP Plus, sleephomealabama.com, sleephomealabama.com. Now, they've got the take-home test. If you wonder if you're a candidate for CPAP, great take-home test. They'll go over the results with you and make sure you get everything right that you need there. But also, if you're already a CPAP user, they've got all the replacement items you need, all the things that you need on a monthly basis. They can be really difficult to get delivered reliably. CPAP Plus will take care of that for you as well. So our friends at O'Neill Medical and CPAP Plus, the place to go. It's the great place to start. sleephomealabama.com for that take-home test. And to find any locations near you of CPAP Plus, sleephomealabama.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Oh, watch out, lady. What are you doing? Oh, wait. Come on, man. Shouting just destroyed my whip.
Say, little man, you need to call Alexander Sonara, man.
What the hell? Yeah, Alexander Sonara trial attorney. I heard they get you paid quick, fast, and in a hurry. With 500 attorneys. And staff holding it down for clients they've represented in 50 states. 659-777-7777. Or Sonara.com. Alexander Sonara trial attorney suing the insurance company, not the individual. Call me, Alabama. Legal services provided. Available at any other provider.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
The beauty of the holiday is at the center of your table with the New York Butcher Shop. Their selection of USDA certified Angus prime rib roast, beef tenderloins, and fillets, as well as premium pork and lamb cuts, are the finest selections available in the market and are hand-cut just the way you want. With side dishes handmade by their professional chefs, your holiday meal is complete. Visit one of their 2 locations today in Cahaba Heights or off Highway 119 in Greystone. Place your order today. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, they bring you our basketball conversation today. We'll get back to college football in just a second, but we got basketball tonight. UCA 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Hey, 70 years, over 70 years, they've taken care of you. And they do this, everything from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between, with 16 great locations. That includes vasectomies for men and women. They have a great time helping you out with great compassion. 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Number of basketball games you've watched so far. Yeah, I know you're a big football guy. You also had a trip out during some basketball to the West Coast. That's where LT is. I haven't mentioned that today. Back with us tomorrow, traveling back from Los Angeles. Basketball games you've watched so far. There have been some good ones. I know you've watched some.
Saturday I watched a good bit, actually.
Yes,
I watched all of Alabama, Kentucky, and Auburn, Georgia. Now, some of those that was overlapping.
Side by side, yes.
Side by side for a little bit. But as soon as Bama, Kentucky, was in the bag, I flipped over and caught all Alabama, or Auburn, Georgia. Saturday, the Tennessee-Arkansas game, again, a lot of side-by-side there, but very entertaining Tennessee-Arkansas game.
I watch a lot of basketball. Yeah. I've yet to watch Vanderbilt play one basketball
I'm with
game.
you. I looked this morning to see who their best wins were.
Who is it? That's who Alabama plays tomorrow night. They're unbeaten. Number 11 in the country is Vandy. Tyler Tanner, apparently one of the best point guards in America, and he plays for them. And I'm having to learn about Vandy before they play Alabama tomorrow night.
Vandy is 6th in KenPom. Now, as I pointed out yesterday, 6th in KenPom, but 79th strength of schedule. Alabama, conversely, is 14th in KenPom this morning, but number 1 strength of schedule. If you've watched Alabama, you're well aware of how difficult their schedule has been, including playing Kentucky, who's 24th in KenPom. I mean, already in conference play, you're going to play number 24 and number 6 in KenPom. Just your first 2 games in conference. So it doesn't get any easier for Alabama.
So Vandy's best win?
By KenPom, I believe it to be St. Mary's, who is 27th in KenPom.
Okay.
They have also beaten SMU, who is 31st in KenPom.
Oh, had a good win over North Carolina this past
That's
weekend.
another game I watched some of. Didn't see that whole game. And then Wake, who I saw here earlier. I got to find out where Wake is in KenPom. I thought they were a little bit higher. 61.
Yeah, I was going to say 60s.
Unless I missed one of their games, and that is possible. I looked at this morning, and I think those are their 3 best wins based on the KenPom rankings.
That's Alabama tomorrow night in Nashville, 8 o'clock. Tonight, Auburn gets Texas A&M. That's Bucky McMillan. Here's cut 3, Stephen Pearl on his team, who lost at Georgia to start SEC play, 104-100 in overtime. Here's Stephen Pearl talking about the defense he has to have tonight as opposed to against Georgia this past weekend.
We jumped at like 11 shot fakes, and 7 of those were on the perimeter. And all we talked about in film was staying down on perimeter shot fakes, squaring your man up, and loading to the ball. And we just didn't do a great job of doing any of those things. And we as a coaching staff did a really poor job of making the adjustments. So, we just weren't as connected, and it obviously showed. And, we made 127 defensive mistakes if you're just going to nitpick it and look through everything. 127 defensive mistakes, and we're up 3 in overtime with 3 minutes left with the ball. Everyone cuts 3 or 4 of their mistakes out defensively throughout that game. We won by 10. We also missed 12 free throws. So, all that to be said, if we just cut down on some of our defensive mistakes, make a few more free throws, obviously, you're able to get a great road win on the road against a ranked team. So, we're right there. We just got to, obviously execute a little bit better and clean a few things up on the defensive side.
I laughed when I heard him say 127 defensive mistakes if you're going to nitpick.
Yeah, it sounds very nitpicky.
When you come up with a precise number of 127, you've nitpicked the film, I think.
Georgia had how many possessions?
Yeah.
You counted 100. Georgia did not have 127 possessions.
I saw that. I was like 127 defensive mistakes. One thing's for sure, Bucky McMillan, Texas A&M, this is a bottom half of the SEC team coming into Neville tonight. I feel like Digger Phelps. So there, remember Digger?
I do. He used to have the highlighter, right?
Yeah, always had a highlighter when he was talking basketball. But as Texas A&M comes in tonight, Bucky's going to play really fast. Here's cut number 4, Stephen Pearl. Not only do they play fast offensively, they're going to press you for 40 minutes. Here's Stephen talking about how good Texas A&M's defense is.
Our guys got to be assertive. They can't be casual. They can't be cool. You watch film and you'll see games where, they're down like 16 at SMU, and then all of a sudden they're up 4 with 30 seconds left, and had a chance to win that game. They can flip games really quickly with just their pressure and their ability to just create steals, and they do a great job of sharing it with one another. They are, I think, are 4th in the country in assists per field goals made. So they just do a great job of sharing the basketball, and they do a great job of creating offense from their defense. So for us, it's watching film of what other teams are doing and what doesn't work, and just kind of showing them we've gone against this year, and these are the things that we have to do in order for us to be successful against their defense.
This is coming up in trash. Tyler, is he wearing the same sweatsuit that Maduro was wearing?
Yes.
Okay. That'll be coming up in trash. It's very popular right now. I would like to know on the 127 defensive mistakes, what is an acceptable number? Like maybe 0. What's a reasonably acceptable number? I don't know how out of whack that is.
Me either. I don't know the answer to that.
And there were Georgia fans, when Scott and Brooks put that out yesterday on our social media, there were Georgia fans that were clapping back with, you don't think we made defensive mistakes either. I don't think it's what Stephen is saying. Stephen is saying control what you can control. Georgia can make defensive mistakes too. We can't control that. In fact, we want to, take advantage of that, right? So control what you can control. You can control mistakes you're making, and if you clean that up a little bit, you probably win that game.
One more basketball thing to get to before we get back to college football. Show being brought to you today by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
You can see better for 2026 with Michelson Laser Vision. LASIK surgery could be right for you. If you have trouble seeing distance, your distance vision isn't what you want it to be, Michelson Laser Vision can take care of you. 969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com, 969-8100, michelsonlaservision.com. Doctors Mark and Jennifer Michelson, pioneers in this field. That is a father-daughter combo, and they are terrific people and terrific surgeons. And LASIK might be the right surgery for you. It's not right for everyone, so go get an evaluation and see if it will work for you and correct your vision for 2026. See more online, michelsonlaservision.com, or call our friend Amy and make an appointment. Say, I want Lance Taylor's Fighter Pilot Vision. 969-8100, 969-8100 for Michelson Laser Vision.
And our friends at Hemphill, our hot and cold moment from basketball last night coming up in just a second, but Hemphill will take care and make sure your heat and or cooling, and you have to use the cooling today. The heat's coming back soon. It's what you do in the South all the time. Hemphill, make sure it works year-round for you, and they've got a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency hotline ready for you, 205-229-2090. They can come to your home or business at any time to help get you back right. Same with plumbing as well, the name Birmingham's trusted since the 1950s, Hemphill. Here's cut number 5, Tom Izzo. Last night, Izzo and some folks had a former Michigan State player, Paul Davis, ejected from the game. He was a fan in the stands back supporting Michigan State, and he said something that to an official that got him ejected from the arena. Here's Tom Izzo on Paul Davis's ejection last night.
What he said, he should never say anywhere in the world, and that ticked me off. He kind of got after the official, and he was 150% wrong. And for a guy like me to 150% agree with the official, it's almost illegal. Judd Heathcote used to always tell me that sooner or later the game makes fools of us all. Once in a while, the game makes fools of our fans. And definitely it's made a fool of me more than a couple times. So I check myself once in a while, or I get calls from guys, and I'm going to have to call him and tell him what I thought. And the only good news is he's been so good. He's going to agree 100%. So it was nothing when I said he shouldn't have said it. He just shouldn't say what he said. But it wasn't, it was. Let's not get carried away that it wasn't something racial. It wasn't something sexual. It wasn't, So it was just the wrong thing to say. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's Tom Izzo last night. Awkward moment when your old coach says, "Man, going to ask you to lead now."
Did you? I don't know if you saw the video, but the refs come over to him and we're throwing a fan out, and he asked the refs who is it, and they point at him, and he realizes it's Paul Davis, and he looks across the court and basically yells, "What the blank are you doing? Get out! Get out!" As soon as the ref told Izzo whatever it was that Davis said, which. I saw this soundbite this morning, and I only watched the first part of it. When he says, what he said you 100% can't say, everybody goes to about 3 or 4 different things. So Izzo stumbled through the end saying, look, it wasn't racial, it wasn't sexist, and I'm glad he took those 2 off the table. It's got to rise to a pretty high level for a coach to say that's something you never say anywhere. These coaches don't have a great filter on language. So for a coach to say you can't say it anywhere, it's got to rise to a pretty high level.
Yeah, and for the referees who hear a lot of things, for them to react to somebody in the stands.
Toss a guy.
Yeah, it has to be pretty bad because they hear it all the time. All right, what the price of doing business in the portal is these days, according to the New York Times, and also some big moves in college football today in this segment, and a lot more to go in the final hour. That's being brought to you today by the great folks at Bojangles Brownie.
You can make a bow time at Bojangles. We got some exciting new things to start telling you about at Bojangles, but right now I want to tell you about those hand-breaded chicken tenders. They are great for lunch or for dinner, and also for those watch parties. If you're watching some more football over the next couple of weeks, let Bojangles handle that for you with the fried chicken, the chicken tenders, those bow bites. that are the hand-breaded chicken tender bites that you can dip right there in that peach honey pepper sauce. Also the great sides and biscuits that go with it, the tea, everything from Bojangles. Your one stop there. You can always, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a great football watch party, make it bow time with our friends at Bojangles.
Last week leading into the Ole Miss win over Georgia, Pete Golding and the people that run the NIL at Ole Miss were upset with the LSU 6. Some of the coaches there that were sort of tampering with the Ole Miss players about following them to LSU eventually. Since then, Trinidad Chambliss, new deal to be back at Ole Miss next year, multi-million-dollar deal if he's approved for his 6th year. Yesterday, Kewan Lacey gets a new deal to stay at Ole Miss. This is huge. If you watch Ole Miss football, Kewan Lacey has made so many big plays, including the win over Georgia, just fighting for first downs. He has 23 rushing touchdowns in 14 games this year. Only 2 SEC players are better than that in the history of the SEC, if I'm correct.
In the history of?
Derrick Henry with 28, Najee Harris with 26. Does that sound right? Have I overstated that? Has that been?
I mean, it
just
sounds right that those guys had those numbers, but the fact that you're talking about a running back and didn't mention the name Herschel Walker or Bo Jackson is pretty remarkable.
So maybe that's in the playoff era.
Could be. I don't know.
Maybe that's in the playoff era.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Henry and Najee had 28, 26. That's the kind of year Kewan Lacey is having with 23 through 14 games, and he's back next year at Ole Miss. Those are 2 big signees for Pete Golding. I expect Chambliss to get his deal. Having Kewan Lacey back again next year, huge, huge, huge for the Rebels.
And not just Big Jim because they're fantastic players, which they are, to the numbers you just gave show you. But the assumption was both those guys are headed to Baton Rouge, right? I mean,
yes.
And now, look, the LSU people are probably going to say, well, we didn't really want them. You're crazy if you don't want Kewan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss. They're fantastic football players. I think any program in America would take Kewan Lacey. You might be better at quarterback than Trinidad Chambliss, but the vast majority would take Trinidad Chambliss too. So there's no way that Lane Kiffin didn't have interest in these guys. This is Pete Golding. I keep saying this. Pete Golding, every button he has pressed since he took this job has been the right button. These are massive keeps for them, and you got to think that Keith Carter's got the NIL. Keith Carter's the athletics director there. Has got the NIL basically saying, listen, you guys are pissed off at Lane, right? Good. I'm glad you're pissed off at Lane. You want to, the way we're going to get back at Lane, we're going to go win football games, and we're going to keep all the guys he wants to take. So how pissed are you? You show me by that check you're about to write me right now that I'm going to flip to Kewan Lacey. So good for them, man. I mean, I'm going to guess, too, we always talk about this, is coaches taking a little bit less money and the difference going to NIL. You got to assume, we haven't seen his deal yet that I'm aware of, Pete Golding is taking less than Lane Kiffin, wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Lane Kiffin was a $10 million guy. I mean, if you're taking that difference and saying, screw Lane Kiffin, we're going to pay to keep Kewan Lacey and Trinidad Chambliss, in my mind, you probably have overpaid them because that's what the market dictated. But good for you. It's a great move. It'll keep Ole Miss good, and it's just another shot at Lane Kiffin.
Next big signee that Ole Miss people think they're going to try to keep is Lucas Cornero, the kicker, who is
just makes bombs, is all he does.
Really good, really good. So we'll see if because rumor has it LSU is trying to get him. So see if they make an announcement about Lucas before they get to the big game coming up later this week.
Brooks did the research real quickly, and Brooks says he's only behind Najee and Derrick Henry for most single-season rushing touchdowns in SEC history. So that is accurate. And he's currently tied with Trey Mason and Tim Tebow.
Right.
So that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good company he's got there.
That's what my pre-show research had said.
Yeah. So Brooks backs you up on that.
Yeah. Thanks, Brooks. Jalen Mbakwe ends up at Georgia Tech, according to reports. One time the second best recruit in cornerback world, turned to a wide receiver. That's where he ends up. Ashton Daniels looks like he's going to end up at Florida State. Trey Wisner, by the way, running back from Texas, also at Florida State, led Texas in rushing. And now he's going to be at Florida State. Ashton Daniels at Florida State. You think that'll be there? Is Castellanos back?
I think Castellanos is going, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you find out, Forrester? You were looking yesterday. Is Castellanos back again another year? Ashton Daniels, I know, hard to imagine that's the guy you say, we're going to attack a whole season. That's our QB1 at Florida State.
No, I believe Castellanos is out of eligibility and has declared for the draft.
Yeah, I think I did see, Scott, that he had declared for the draft, which is probably going to be doubt I hear his name called, but we'll see. I mean, I would not be excited about
better NFL career, Diego Pavia or Tommy Castellanos.
I think it's going to be 0-0.
Did you say UFL?
They're going to be playing for A.J. McCarron. We used to make the joke about Skip Holtz getting him. Now we got to make the A.J. McCarron joke. By the way, did you see who hired his offensive coordinator?
Tyler Siskey.
Tyler Siskey, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't excite me, Jim, if I'm a Florida State fan knowing that Ashton. Now, if I can get the Ashton Daniels you saw in Nashville, you only saw him one time. That's the problem. And I don't think he was awful in the Iron Bowl. Do you think he was awful in the Iron Bowl?
No.
I mean, he had a lot of drops. His receivers didn't help him a whole lot.
Jay Crawford ends up at Ole Miss. Former Auburn, was considered the number 2 guy in the portal, so he's going to be part of Pete Golding's crew there. Jaheim Otis is visiting Ole Miss. One-time Alabama player coming from Colorado, got 1 year of eligibility left, so he could end up with Pete Golding again this time. And the craziest story of all, portal-wise, yesterday, and I mentioned it on the show yesterday, that Kenny Minchey, the Notre Dame quarterback backup to C.J. Carr, was going to Nebraska. And he had made that announcement, Minchey to Nebraska. A couple hours later after our show, flips it to Kentucky. So I guess technically if you're scoring at home, that's a 5-4-3 switch there as he goes Notre Dame to Nebraska to Kentucky.
That's an interesting move. Now, Will Stein taking the Kentucky job. Kentucky is where quarterbacks have gone to die. And, in fact, Cutter Boley had looked so good, and he hits the portal. He had looked so good in comparison to previous Kentucky quarterbacks, I think I should say. He hits the portal. But with Will Stein there, that's an offensive guy coming from Oregon. I guess it's more appealing for a quarterback. I mean, they were able to get guys to come to them in the portal, which never made any sense on the offensive side because Stoops' offenses are so yucky. But I'm guessing maybe you're buying Will Stein there. I mean, it's not exactly like Nebraska has set it on fire with I can't say his name right now. Former West Virginia head coach is the offensive coordinator there. Why can I not say his name? Dana Holgorsen. Holgorsen is the offensive coordinator. Now, I know, they had a quarterback injury there, but they didn't really set it on fire either. So neither one of those offenses has been particularly appealing of late. But Will Stein's the unknown because we haven't seen him be a head coach yet.
Bryce Underwood is also staying at Michigan. That news came out yesterday. On the revolving portal world of college football, over 4,000 players in the portal, and that includes now James Smith and Qua Russaw of Alabama's defensive front. And we'll see who they backfill in with them to go with the 2 great recruiting classes they've had in Tuscaloosa under Kalen DeBoer. All right, when we come back, Byrum Brown's at Auburn. How do transfer quarterbacks work out? It is a mixed bag for sure. We'll talk about that and a lot more college football on the show that's being brought to you by the folks at Inverness Country Club Browning.
Inverness Country Club can be your country club home in Birmingham. ICCalabama.com is the website to go to for more information, or just call our friend Erin. Erin Hilliard is her name. She's a big fan of the show, so she'll love talking some next round with you. Great person. 205-991-8608 is her number, 205-991-8608. When I see Erin out there, she's constantly telling me, hey, another member of your audience on the list to come do a tour, and that's what you can do. You can do a tour there at Inverness Country Club, and it could be your country club home for the future. See more about their great golf course, their tennis facility, which is getting a brand new clubhouse right now, their golf clubhouse, which is spectacular, all the great events they have out there, the Racket and Fitness Club, just everything they've got, and the resort-style pool, which will, before you know it, be wide open again, and everybody out there having a good time. You can see all of that at ICCalabama.com, ICCalabama.com, or call Aaron, 205-991-8608, and make Inverness Country Club your country club home.
We interrupt this program for breaking news from the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorneys, we fight back. We have the resource, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090.
Remember the
That's
name Weight to Wellness
205-229-2090.
if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the next round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Weight to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show. We're about to talk football and all the big moves that have happened here today and some big reactions. Use all those action words that we're supposed to tease away the final hour of the show. Brownie, Dunaway, LT back with us tomorrow. All the guys behind the glass, Brooks on social media, Tyler on the big board, and Forrester handling everything video-wise on the platform. Forrester, I think it was you that first sent me this picture. And does it say this in the text, or was it your funny line that said Ed Orgeron walked into the plastic surgeon and said, "Give me the Bob Huggins"?
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, that was in the tweet. I wish I had come up with that.
I know, but it's remarkable.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks just like Bob Huggins.
Morrison crying. We'll give him credit there. Tweeted out, Ed Orgeron looked at his plastic surgeon and said, "Give me the Bob Huggins."
I mean, don't you agree he looks just like Bob Huggins?
I don't know.
100%.
I don't know what Ed's doing.
Looking like Bob Huggins, apparently. I mean, it's the hair and everything.
He's been pulled back a little tight there.
I would agree.
Without disclosing anybody's name. Does anybody on the show know anybody that has done plastic surgery like that? I mean, I'm not talking just
like
local
they've
Botox.
had that?
Yeah, I'm not talking about just a little Botox filler or anything like has had. I mean, that's traditional facelift, right? That doesn't look comfortable. Like that looks like your skin is pulled tight that it's not comfortable to wear.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like wearing a shirt that's too tight and I can't wait to get home and take it off.
Yeah.
Or a pair of pants that's too tight.
Yeah. As you know, I have considerable insight to the plastic surgery game.
That's why I backed off the Botox and anything like that.
Yeah. No. There's good and bad. Like, I mean,
I can tell you're getting a little work done up on the forehead, on the brow.
If
you don't react to my jokes the same way as you used to.
I always look surprised. If you have if you have a wife like I do that works in the plastic surgery field.
She brings those needles home occasionally. Gives you a little Botox.
I have never, I can honestly say this.
Admit it now, Brownie.
I can honestly say this. I have never had one bit of plastic surgery done. Not that I think plastic surgery is a fantastic thing.
Yeah.
I encourage people to do it.
I'm going to shock everybody.
What's that?
Me either.
I don't think
I've never had any plastic surgery.
I would say Lance hasn't either.
Well, I'm not saying he is.
No, I know. He's just not here to speak for himself.
I was actually joking that you look at this face and you know that I've had none done.
But if you, like any other field, if you know somebody that knows plastic surgery, they can immediately tell you that was good plastic surgery, that was bad plastic surgery, and tell you why.
Okay.
I would think Ed had the money to get the best.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always translate.
Would you ask Jennifer?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if she's going to know, but does it feel normal or does it look as uncomfortable? I mean, it just looks like it's tight.
Yeah, like your skin got tightened?
Yeah, it's almost like I can't wait to get home and take these pants off.
I think there's always swelling initially, so it's going to be a little bit tight initially, but I think once the swelling goes down, the skin adjusts.
Well, you got to assume that's long enough after the surgery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's out in public.
I just think Ed looked perfectly fine as he go Tigers. I mean, that was perfectly fine.
I agree. I mean,
what are we chasing, Ed?
I think Ed's, he's divorced, right? So he's back on the market potentially. I don't know if he's got a significant other. I would imagine Ed, I do know for a fact Ed would like to get back into coaching.
All I'm saying is I thought Ed looked perfectly fine. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think when Ed was, it was just 2019. He was at LSU. He looked young.
Looked perfectly fine.
They were winning. He was in good shape. He looked young. He had jogged with his shirt off. Had a tan chest. I was not stalking him. I'm just talking about photos that were out there.
It's just different. It's a different world now because wasn't there an SEC coach back in the 90s that apparently, I can't remember if he missed SEC Media Days or the big talk when he showed up at SEC Media Days that since spring football and SEC Media Days, that guy had a little plastic surgery done?
I think I remember that, yes. Yeah. It did appear that was the case.
Yeah.
You can go overboard with it. That's the thing. And a good plastic surgeon is someone that will tell a patient, you've had enough done. I don't think there's any more we could do here.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw that picture this weekend. Thought it was a funny line.
No, it was a great line. I saw it too. And it immediately, you're like, yeah, that's Bob Huggins. Looks just like him.
Yeah. All right. This hour always brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. One thing Sterling's never done, plastic surgery. He's
really?
Back in that kitchen. It keeps him young looking.
Never had it. Huh?
Yeah. When he's brining that chicken overnight, I'm sure he takes some of that seasoning, rubs it on his face, keeps him fresh and young looking right there at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling serves up the best meal. Destination lunch location, hand-cut chicken fingers, in-house made sides, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. Tyler, they got a little heat to them, those little Mississippi Delta recipe tamales?
Yeah.
That's what makes them so good.
Yeah.
That's what makes you so good, Tyler. Champy'sChicken.com.
I'm juggling.
I know, but they're good.
Highway 119 in Alabaster. Well, I will tell you one thing for sure before Brownie tells us about Alexander Shinara. If I see you turn to do something else, that's when I draw you right back into the show. Alexander Shinara, Brownie.
Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. They have recovered more than $2 billion for their clients. $2 billion focusing on Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. Alexander Shinara's mission: create a firm that can handle anything his community has faced. His community is Birmingham. Born and bred in Birmingham. He's lived here his whole life. He's now grown a firm to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. When you find yourself in need of one of those lawyers for any reason, make it Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com.
Tony on social media tells me, oh, Dunaway, I noticed you didn't mention the outcome of the game while you were talking about the Michigan State ejection. You loved you some CBM last year, but you don't want to talk about him now? Thanks, Tony.
Okay, so they were playing USC. I'm just learning that.
Yeah, CBM is Chad Baker-Mazara, for those that don't know.
I didn't know who they were playing.
I apparently loved him his last few years at Auburn, because you know me. Michigan State beat USC last night in that game of the ejection we talked about, 80-51.
Yikes.
That's by 29. As you know, USC not very geographically fit into the Big Ten. So when you play Michigan State, you also play Michigan on the road trip. They played Michigan Saturday.
How'd that go?
They lost by 30. So in 2 games in 3 days in the state of Michigan, USC is negative 59 in the point differential.
I mean, I told you after I saw Michigan out there in that Las Vegas tournament, that's your best team in the country. And you told me earlier today they are basically tied for number 1.
With Arizona, who also is. Auburn's played them both, by the way, and lost to both of them by a lot.
Yeah, by a lot. Yeah.
Alabama's played Arizona, lost to them by a lot.
Yeah. Those teams right there do look a cut above. So, yeah, USC, boy, that's a – I had not thought about that. The fact that if you're if you play at Michigan State, you also got to play at Michigan. If you UCLA and USC, that's brutal.
Yeah,
that's a lot to ask to come all the way up there and play those 2 teams back to back.
So there you go, Chad Baker-Mazara. If you're not a fan of him chasing his waterfalls out to USC from Auburn, he got it handed to him by 30 and 29 over his last 2 games for Chad Baker-Mazara at USC. All right, back to college football we go here. Where Curt Cignetti is the talk of the world. Have cut 9 ready for me here, Tyler. But first, a little financing for you. If you don't know Coach Sig's contract, he got $700,000 more dollars for beating Alabama, part of his bonus, his incentives. So with the Big Ten championship, making the Big Ten championship game, winning it, making the college football playoffs, and now winning a game, $1.875 million in bonuses so far. But the biggest thing is his contract is designed where he has triggered a market reevaluation at the end of this year, where he is mandated by contract to become one of the 3 highest paid coaches. His contract has to put him in the 3 highest paid coaches category because he's hit certain markers along this season. Now, Lane Kiffin has just reset the market. I think I'm correct about this. Kirby Smart contract says by $1 he has to be the highest paid coach in college football.
I think you're right.
So that means that Kiffin's new contract is going to push Kirby Smart $1 more than Lane Kiffin.
But then it's also...
And it's going to drag Curt Cignetti in to be the top 3 in the business.
Now, I guess if somebody else out there has the top 3 guarantee in their contract, you just got to match what Cignetti has. So somebody else could benefit from this. I don't know. It turns out we know Curt Cignetti's attorneys, his agents, very, 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 very well, and they are the best in the business. And I would imagine, now this is a new contract. Don't forget, this contract got reworked after last year.
No, it get reworked mid-season.
Yeah, I guess it was mid-season, wasn't it? Yeah, it was mid-season.
So they got reworked last year, but they got reworked mid-season
because
Penn State.
What a lot of people, yeah, that's right, when Penn State came open. What a lot of people would say is, yeah, that was the contract he got when he first came, and like, because we've done this before on this show, like, oh, do you know so-and-so in their contract gets $1 million if they make the national championship game? Well, you may as well make it $1 billion. They're never going to be there.
Oh, yeah, Vandy's going to make the national championship game.
So a lot of people will look at this and be like, yeah, well, this was all stuff Indiana agreed to, because they're like, this will never happen under Curt Cignetti. No. Indiana agreed to all of this after having seen this 1 year and basically a season and a half, and they still agreed to all of this, which is pretty remarkable and shows you their commitment to Curt Cignetti. I applaud them. They're like, we've never been any good in football. We got this one guy that has found a way to make us good.
Yep.
Let's keep him forever. And I really do think they will. I think this guy retires there, don't you?
He's stupid if he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just passed on Penn State If he hadn't signed this contract, he'd have been named number 1 for Michigan probably. And if Sark goes to the NFL, he would have been named number 1 at Texas probably.
One thing you need to look at in that contract, too, I'm not saying you need to if people are interested, is the buyout it takes to pry him away from there. It is a significant buyout. I will give Curt Cignetti and his agents credit for this. They didn't just go in and hold Indiana over the barrel. They also said, look, we'll do our part too. If Curt leaves for another job, you're going to make good money on that. And I appreciate that. Like, that's the thing that I just don't understand that these schools do. They give these coaches these massive buyouts, and they get nothing if the coach leaves. And at least Cignetti's people are like, look, we understand the game here, and if he leaves, you're going to get a significant buyout too. I think it's it's north of $10 million, which would put it beyond what Alabama had to pay to get Kalen DeBoer out of Washington, which
was a lot.
Well, I mean, it's the biggest one ever paid on record is the buyout Alabama paid to get DeBoer out of Washington.
And when you hear coaches complain about the calendar, I think Curt Cignetti's playing college football under the same calendar, isn't he?
Generally, yes. I don't think he's got a special exemption from the NCAA.
He got his quarterback of the future while he's still in the playoffs, playing under the same calendar, in Josh Hoover this week. And if you look at what Indiana has done in the portal, they're loaded. They're stocked for next year again.
Yeah.
They're already good to go next year. Here's Elijah Surratt, the wide receiver for Indiana, on why Cignetti is so good for the transfers.
Is there something about Coach Cignetti? I mean, you've played for him at multiple places, but is there something about him that you think has allowed so many transfers to mesh with him and his style?
Yeah, first, Bloomington is a great college town, one of the better college towns in the nation. And that plays a big part of just making yourself feel at home outside of football. And then football-wise, Coach Sig, like you see the body of work that he has, you see the people that he develops. He's helped develop me. He's helped develop many other players that we have on this team. And then just seeing the success that he's had all the way from where he's been, it's something that you want to be a part of. And then you come to the campus and meet him. And what he's saying, you really believe that you can do. And the one thing I can say about Coach Sig is the stuff that you get in his office on a visit and he's telling you this and that, but it's actually true. Like you'll come, you commit, you come in, and then what he's preaching is actually what you're doing. It's not going to be easy, and he's not going to tell you it's going to be easy. He's going to tell you got to stack days, you got to be the best player you can be every single day. But you see the vision that he gives you, and you really believe that you can achieve it.
He is the darling of college football, which is wild to consider. If you go back 2 years to when he was hired at Indiana, nobody thought this was coming. Nobody. I know Curt Cignetti is a very brash, bold, confident guy, but I would like to know on truth serum if he felt this was coming. Do you think he would honestly say, the day I walked to Bloomington, Indiana, I thought year one, we will be the story of college football, and then year two, we'll take it to the next level. We'll be the 1 seed. We'll potentially be playing for the national championship. I mean, I know that's a confident guy, but it's hard to believe he truly thought that.
And really, don't you expect them to win it now?
They look like the best team, yeah. It's hard to beat a team twice in a year. Oregon's a really good football team, but boy, Indiana controlled that game in Alton.
Okay, I'm going to write mine down. I'm going to write. Finish that thought.
Well, I was just going to say that's going to require them to be the first team in college football history to go, what will they be, 16-0? Is that right? If they win it out?
17?
Is it 17-0? So they played a 12-game regular season.
Big Ten championship
is 13, and then 16-0.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never had a college football team do that. Now, to be fair, college football teams haven't had the opportunity to play 16 games. So that's one reason we haven't. But, I mean, to think a team goes 16-0 in college football does seem a bridge too far. I know it sounds this Ole Miss Miami game is just so hard to figure. If you tell me Indiana doesn't win it, but this team does.
Well, the betting favorite's going to be whoever wins in the national championship game will be whoever wins the Indiana-Oregon game.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in Brooks and Forrester on the back row here. I want you guys to do this exercise with us here, too. I've written mine down. And I'll go Brown first, then you Forrester, and then you Brooks. The 4 remaining quarterbacks in the college football playoffs. Stack them 1, 2, 3, and 4 for me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've got mine written down, so not to be skewed by your answers. So go ahead and scribble yours down so Brown doesn't skew your answers.
I'll write mine on the whiteboard.
No, you don't have to. I want you to give yours out loud right now.
Well, I was just going to say, so you know I'm not copying. I'll go ahead and write them down.
Okay, you write them down. Does anybody have theirs? Brooks, you look like you got yours locked in. Go ahead, Brooks, give them to me.
I'll go Heisman winner, Mendoza 1, Trinidad Chambliss number 2. What he did in the Sugar Bowl was as good as anything I've seen this season.
Yeah.
I'll take him number 2. I know pro prospects have Dante Moore rated really high, but I'm going to take the career experience of Carson Beck at number 3, and I'm going to put Dante Moore at 4.
I think 1 and 2 are going to be the same for all of us.
You and I are exactly alike, including the reasoning on Carson Beck and Dante Moore. I agree with Brooks 100%. Fernando, Trinidad, Beck, and Dante. Forrester, give me yours.
Very similar, slight difference. Fernando Mendoza 1. I've got Dante Moore 2, and then Trinidad, and then Beck.
Okay.
Well, I think Dante Moore, NFL people probably have him, but the way Chambliss is playing, it's hard for me not to put him number 2.
That was the NFL mind, Scott Forrester, with his ranking. Now,
as they pointed out in the chat room, if Scott gets his way, the Falcons are going to have 7 quarterbacks after this upcoming draft.
Yeah.
Scott, you have loved every quarterback. You want the Falcons to draft every good quarterback, don't you?
Hey, give me I want Sark and give me Trinidad Chambliss. I'm good.
Okay. I'm just quickly going to pull up, if you'll allow me to here, Jim, Carson Beck's numbers in the playoffs.
Okay, now, as windy as it could get in a one-possession game at Texas A&M.
Yeah, 2 completions in the first half.
Yeah, but the guy ran the ball more than I can remember him running the football ever in his career. Some hard, tough yardage.
Jimmy had 4 carries for -6 yards.
But no, I'm telling you, he had to run the football in those 4 carries, and I think the rest of them were sacks that made it that negative number.
Yeah, his net. Yeah,
the guy ran it was a willing runner 4 times, apparently.
My only point with Beck is in 2 games, he has thrown for 271 yards. Or, 241 yards. Jack State math. 241 yards, 2 touchdowns in 2 games. 2 combined, 241 yards.
Texas A&M in a windstorm on the road, and then against Ohio State.
You're in the playoffs. You're going to play good teams in the playoffs. That's why I've got Chambliss number 2.
I think you're crippled by the stats sometimes.
Dante Moore, 103 yards against A&M. I get it. It was windy. 138 yards against Ohio State. That's far from elite numbers. So give me
I'm
more than Beck.
Exactly with Brooks. It's the experience. It's Chambliss, Beck, and then Dante Moore. And you have yours, Hal?
I've got Mendoza, Chambliss, Moore, Beck. That's the way I would do it. I was surprised that Scott moved Moore in front of Chambliss. Chambliss has been spectacular, Scott.
I don't disagree.
I think to your point, not to put words in your mouth, but you're probably thinking, can Trinidad Chambliss back that up again? Can he do it in continuous games? What you do against Tulane is one thing. Unbelievable against Georgia. Can you do it again? And then again to be national champions? And maybe he can. Maybe he can. Mendoza, in all due respect to your stat boy over there, 14 of 16 against Alabama. He didn't really throw it a lot. Didn't burn it up through the skies. Didn't have to. Alabama ran.
He did not.
Couldn't stop the run.
But 14 of 16 against Alabama, the University of.
I said, no, all due respect to Alabama. Ohio State's defense is pretty good, too.
Oh, it is. It is. I'm just saying.
Carson Beck's pretty smart not to risk the biscuit there against Ohio State. All right. So that's the quarterbacks that are left in the game and how they play out. I'm fascinated by the 4 different styles of quarterbacks you got here and what they can mean in these games coming up. Thursday night, travel day for Ole Miss and Miami today. Indiana and Oregon travel for their Friday game to Atlanta tomorrow. Yes.
Can I quickly circle back on this contract for Cignetti, because I did find this part interesting. I was looking up the buyout. It's $15 million if you want to hire him away from Indiana, but it goes to 0 if they choose not to make him a top 3 paid coach, is the report I have seen from the Indianapolis Star. So he's got it in his contract. He's always got to be a top 3 coach, but Indiana can say, no, we're not going to do that, but then the buyout goes to 0. Which I find interesting. You gotta make a business decision there if you're Indiana, because if they want to fire him, it's basically 100% of the contract. So if he gets fired, he gets everything you owe him. But if you're like, I don't know if he's done a top 3 job, that's fine. We'll accept he hasn't done a top 3 job. Then you're going to drop his buyout to 0. Now his buyout never falls below $9 million. So if somebody wants to come hire the guy away, they're going to have to pay the record buyout or close to the record buyout to get him. And so Alabama did that.
It never goes to 0.
Never goes to 0. Never goes below $9 million, according to the Indianapolis Star. So interesting contract. That one's got some nuance to it that you don't normally see.
All right. Auburn's new quarterback, Byrum Brown, and what to expect from him after Brownie tells us about our friends at Central State Bank.
It is a bank that is big enough to meet every single need that you have, but they are also small enough to know you because they are part of your community at Central State Bank. And listen, one thing they know is how difficult college life can be. It moves fast where your banking needs to as well. So for you college students, or parents of college students, whether it's the first paycheck, the textbook hustle, the weekend road trip, Central State Bank is here to back that college student up. Easy to use accounts, mobile banking so you can use it anywhere, but hometown service. They make adulting easier at Central State Bank. Family owned, community focused, always in your corner. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Really good read, Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, as he ranks the SEC transfer quarterbacks this past year. And as you would imagine, Trinidad Chambliss does very well there. Remember, transfer quarterback. Wasn't really expected to be QB1. By the way, Austin Simmons is going to be at Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
That's now official. Missouri, okay with having Austin finish out the playoffs. Joke about Lane Kiffin there. Trinidad Chambliss is an A. But a mixed bag everywhere else. John Mateer, transfer quarterback, first year, made the playoffs.
Yeah, but it was not an A.
Yeah. Joey Aguilar, thrown into the mix last minute.
Tough grade.
Tennessee.
Would you give that a B? I think I would give Mateer and Aguilar both a B.
Bo Pribula, you can go reading how Connor ranks them. I don't want to give it away. Bo Pribula at Missouri. I mean, Missouri had a good year.
Yeah, they had an 8-win year.
Yeah.
I think that's a B at best, and then he hit the portal.
Ashton Daniels was brought in to be QB2 at Auburn.
Yeah, you can't grade that. I mean, he never played.
Now he's going to Florida State.
I tell you.
And then Jackson Arnold.
That was an F. But Ashton Daniels, I'd actually give an A because you brought him in to be the backup, and when he played as the backup, what did he do? He did everything he could to beat Vanderbilt. Wasn't his fault. I mean, the offense ran up and down the field on Vanderbilt. The defense couldn't get stops. And then in the Iron Bowl, I didn't think Ashton Daniels played that bad in the Iron Bowl. He threw the interception to Bray Hubbard, but his receivers did nothing for him in that game. So I'd actually give Ashton Daniels, based on the role you hired him for, which was backup, an A. Jackson Arnold gets an F.
But keep in mind, the transfer portal has produced all four of these quarterbacks at their location that are still playing in the college football playoffs. Now, Dante Moore went there and sat behind quarterback, so it's not his first year. But Chambliss in his first year, Beck in his first year at Miami, and Fernando Mendoza in his first year at Indiana. So the portal can be a very mixed bag at every position, especially quarterback. But you can find great success in 1 year through the portal.
I mean, Indiana's always going to be the one we point out. They're 2 for 2. Auburn is 0 for 2. I mean, so that just shows you how difficult it can be. Hugh Freeze couldn't get the portal right.
Well, not historically now, because before there was a portal, Cam Newton technically came in and was a one year sensation.
Right. They recruited him out of junior college. That wasn't portal. That was recruiting. So in the portal, in the quarterback portal era, Auburn is 0 for 2. Indiana is 2 for 2. One fired their coach. One could play for the national championship. So it shows you how critical it is to get it right if you didn't know already. Boy, I tell you, it's subjective, but I would like to know the percentage got it right, percentage got it wrong. It's not a 50-50. It's not like half got it right and half got it wrong.
Probably 25-75.
25 right, 75 wrong is the way it feels. I would agree with you. I don't know.
Yeah. And probably 3% great.
I mean, great. Like Cam Ward, how do you grade that? I mean, the guy ended up being the number 1 overall draft pick at Miami, but what did they do with it? They couldn't even make the playoffs.
Wasn't Cam Ward's fault, though.
No.
So as far as the quarterback portal guy, it was great.
Carson Beck hasn't been near, in spite of what you just said about him, hasn't been Cam Ward. You'd grant me that. And here they are on the doorstep of playing for a national championship. So,
but still great because he's managing his team to
it's hard
success.
to argue. Yeah, I agree with you. It's hard to argue.
Yeah. And Oregon has been great. Bo Nix, Dylan Gabriel, and now Dante Moore.
Again, they don't have a ton to show for that, but here they are a win away from playing for the national championship with Dante Moore. All those guys have been successful. Bo Nix has got the number 1 seed in the AFC. Dylan Gabriel's an NFL quarterback, and Dante Moore is, again, a win away from playing for the national championship and maybe the number 2 overall draft pick.
Hear what Tom Luginbill thinks of Byrum Brown, Auburn's new quarterback. Wherever you get our podcasts, including Apple and Spotify, go ahead and set up the automatic downloads when you go to Apple and Spotify. Like and subscribe everywhere. Part of this show, including some of our interviews, always on YouTube, where some of you are watching us live right now. And some of you are not subscribers as you watch us. So as you watch us live, go ahead and hit the subscribe button at YouTube and always give us a thumbs up there. That helps us out a lot. And also go on our YouTube new channel, TNR Clips. TNR Clips, where you get clips from the show. Other than the interviews, it's actual clips of discussion out of the show. And you can find that there at TNR Clips. Like and subscribe there as well. Set your alerts everywhere so you'll know when new content is dropping, like Bama and Bourbon and things like that throughout the course of the year. When we come back, trash and more of what's going on in the football world, including what Tua Tagovailoa says about possibly not being a Miami Dolphin. That's coming up straight ahead on the show that's being brought to you today by our friends at Champy's, world-famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and wave at Sterling and say, hey, man, Dunaway said, come by here and look at this beautiful building you've been in for 10 years. It is so homey. He's got it perfectly designed to fit the food fare that you get there. Southern fried chicken, brined overnight, all the great southern sides, the hand-cut chicken fingers that are just massive size, and the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. If you got somebody in town that is rolling in to talk the South with you, want to taste a little taste of the South, Champy's Chicken is where to go. Champy's Chicken, right there on Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
We interrupt this program for breaking news from the gators of the litigation situation. Insurance companies have a playbook. I repeat, insurance companies have a playbook. Deny, delay, defend. They know which law firms will fold and settle cheap. They are not on your side. That's corporate greed at work. At Alexander Sonara Trial Attorney, we fight back. We have the resources, the muscle, and the will to take them on. And you don't pay a dime unless we win. They fight dirty. We fight hard. Call 659-777-7777 or hit up alexwins.law.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, Trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Colorado is facing a $27 million deficit with their athletic department if they can't raise $25 million by June. They've got a new athletic director that started yesterday, and he's excited to be working with Dion. One of his big goals is to raise money there as Colorado tries to rework their momentum in college football under Deion Sanders. And they made a pretty cool announcement yesterday.
Well, I don't know if it's been announced. Scott,
okay.
The Josh Niblett is what you're talking about?
Yeah, well, I jumped way out there.
You did. Well,
there is nothing official on
nothing official, but it's been reported by a lot of people. And
There's smoke.
For those that don't know, Josh Niblett, the coach at Hoover for years, took the job at Gainesville High School in Georgia. Brooks tells me, Brooks, am I right to say this? He was among the highest paid coaches? Is that right?
Third highest paid coach in Georgia, made $178,000 a year.
Which is good for a high school coach, obviously. Third highest paid coach in Georgia.
Would have been way higher than any Alabama.
Yeah, and he's been pretty successful at Gainesville, right?
Made the state championship game this year amid some controversy on the way.
Oh, that's right. They had all those players suspended.
But yeah, I mean, Gainesville's a really notable job.
Yeah, big
Blake
job.
Sims, Deshaun Watson all played there. It's a big boy job in Georgia.
Yeah, so Josh Niblett has been the coach there, resigned yesterday kind of out of the blue, and all the reports are, though it's nothing official yet from Colorado, all the reports are that he is going to be the tight ends coach for Deion Sanders at Colorado, which is a very interesting move for him. A guy that has been at Oxford, Hoover, Gainesville, Georgia, a Southern guy, and is going to jump all the way out to Colorado as a tight ends coach. But I don't know. It's a fascinating move, and wish the best to Josh. I've known Josh a long time. Had frankly lost touch with him a little bit once he got over to Gainesville, but I hope the best for him. Married a Sax girl, by the way.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Michelson Laser Vision brings you part of the show today.
Yeah, 969-8100, 969-8100, MichelSonLaserVision.com. That's the number to call Amy and tell her, I would like my sight to improve in the new year. Michelson Laser Vision can do that for you. You might be a candidate for LASIK surgery. If you're having difficulty seeing long distances, LASIK surgery might just be right for you. Michelson Laser Vision can tell you. It's Doctors Mark and Jennifer Michelson. That is a father-daughter combo, and they can evaluate you and tell you if LASIK surgery might work for you. You could see more, MichelSonLaserVision.com, or again, call Amy to set up that evaluation at 205-969-8100, 205-969-8100, MichelSonLaserVision.com.
All right, and as we look at this portal and the quarterbacks, Brendan Sorsby, $5 million to Texas Tech, and I don't know how much money it costs to get this done, but then you get signage in Times Square as well. Welcome to Lubbock, Brendan Sorsby. Now, I don't understand this. I really don't. I mean, it's Times Square. I know that's cool, but...
You think anybody in Times Square had any clue who Brendan Sorsby was and what uniform he's wearing?
And I don't know how long that stays up. I know it's a flashing sign, so there's other stuff. How long you buy it for, I don't understand that. But Cody Campbell, of course, tweets it out. He took it, Times Square in New York City today. Welcome to Lubbock, Brendan Sorsby. It's confusing to me when it says "Welcome to Lubbock." It's in New York City. It's not like it's a sign in Lubbock. But I understand.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not Lubbock. That's New York City.
I understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I can also see the Lion King musical, apparently.
But tell me you got more money than you know what to do with when you can throw that sign. Didn't Bo Nix have a big Nike something?
I think so.
When he was at Oregon at Times Square?
Yeah, and, obviously the Heisman Trophy Award is given away in New York City, so you wonder if some of that is, hey, I'm going to put you on the billboard preseason New York City, you put yourself on the billboard postseason or something like that. I mean, again, it gets attention. Here we are talking about it. We would probably talk about it anyway, but how many other people are talking about Texas Tech and Brendan Sorsby because of this? And as he says in his own tweet, the brand is national. Now, it's national to the extent you're willing to pay for a billboard in Times Square. Anybody can do that and make it national, but that's what he's trying to sell is you come play for a national brand. Look, our quarterback's on the billboard in Times Square.
Is it stupid to ask this question? Would you rather have Brendan Sorsby or Byrum Brown if you're Auburn? Is that a stupid question?
Well, they both played in the same conference. Who do you think was – well, actually, no. Cincinnati Ryan is now a Big 12 team.
Yeah. I mean, Auburn obviously not paying $5 million to Byrum Brown, but the continuity of coaching staff and offensive coordinator, the first time Auburn will have a quarterback and offensive coordinator that have worked together in consecutive years since Jarrett Stidham and Chip Lindsey, that from Justin Ferguson, who covers Auburn.
Yeah, I will say Byrum Brown was a 4,000-yard guy. Sorsby was a 3,300-yard guy in the Big 12, better conference in the Big 12. I mean, statistically, I know you tell me I'm a slave to stats over here sometimes. Statistically, I don't think they're all that different. I don't know. I mean,
well, let me ask
you pointed out Sorsby's big games. I gave you his ranked games. They weren't great yesterday, but
yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Eye test.
Yeah.
Are you blown away by Brendan Sorsby?
I'm not.
Because you said Josh Hoover was the better quarterback.
I think he is. I think Josh Hoover was the prize of in my opinion, the prize of the portal.
So
Indiana got him.
So not to put words in your mouth, but I think what you're saying is I don't necessarily agree with you about Josh Hoover. I'm just saying of all the portal quarterbacks, Texas Tech paid $5 million not for the bell of the ball.
I don't think they. And I don't know that it's Byrum Brown. They didn't get the best quarterback in the portal.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it's Byrum Brown.
I know what you're saying, but they did not pay $5 million for the best quarterback in the portal, in my opinion. Now, can Sorsby go there and light it up? Maybe he does. I don't know. I mean, this could be one of those things we look back on a year from now like, boy, that was a dumb conversation. But I think Josh Hoover will have more success than Brendan Sorsby. I think he's the better of the two quarterbacks.
I mean, keep in mind, okay, I'm not trying to speak this into existence. But keep in mind, we're still waiting on a Ty Simpson decision about the NFL or not.
Yeah. Can I read a text conversation I had about that?
Yeah, but let me just finish my thought.
Yeah.
So if Ty Simpson is back at Alabama and then five-star Keelan Russell is in the portal, did you maybe jump the gun a little bit if you already grabbed one of these quarterbacks? Or what if Keelan Russell is at Alabama and Ty Simpson's in the portal?
All right, so there you go.
What at that point, did you jump the gun a little bit on paying Brendan Sorsby $5 million?
So Chris Lowe was getting credited on Twitter yesterday as saying that Ty Simpson could be at Tennessee next year. And I never could find original sourcing for it. All I could find is Chris Lowe said this, Chris Lowe said this, Chris Lowe said this, Chris Lowe said this. And there was never where did Chris say this or a link to where Chris said this. So I did what any responsible person would do. I texted Chris Lowe. Right? I figured, well, if Chris said this, he'll remember saying it. So I said, I just want to confirm, did you say Ty Simpson is either in the NFL or transferring? And if he transfers, a likely destination is Tennessee. Chris, yes. On a radio show Sunday, I said he's seeking feedback from NFL people, and if he gets a good grade and probable first rounder, he will likely turn pro. If not, don't expect him to return to Alabama. Tennessee and Oregon are his most likely destinations. That's from Chris Lowe. Now, Chris is as connected in college football as anyone, and historically he's been very well connected with the Alabama program, though that was under Nick Saban. He and Nick Saban were very close. I don't mean to indicate he and Kalen DeBoer are enemies, but I just don't know how close they are. I know he and Nick Saban were extremely close, as far as close as Nick Saban was going to be to any media person, right? So I found that interesting that Chris Lowe said that, and I finally got Chris to confirm before we brought it up on the show that he actually said it. it sounds like Keelan Russell's spot is Tuscaloosa next year.
Yeah, it seems like he's QB1.
Well, I mean, if Ty Simpson hits the portal, yeah, and I don't know how Alabama fans would feel about that. I kind of think they're excited about the prospect of Keelan Russell, and they kind of soured on Simpson toward the end of the year. And that's unfortunate because I don't think that's all Simpson's fault. He didn't have a great line in front of him. He had no run support, and I think he was playing hurt. So that's three things that make it really difficult.
Yeah. Again, I shouldn't say that. Austin Mack, who has been waiting his turn and always looks fantastic too. So that'll be interesting to see what Ty Simpson does. I guess the best case scenario, if you're an Alabama fan, is Ty goes pro to where you don't have to face him in a Tennessee game.
That'd be interesting.
Oregon down the road.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Again, ESPN.com today, Ty Simpson not mentioned in the 1-32 of their first-round mock draft. Of course, it's a long way from January to April in the NFL draft process. That gets us to Trash today, brought to you by Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City. Listen, free, no-cost roof inspection. It starts right there. Get Greg up that ladder and on your roof. Get him off his freaking couch watching football. The guy loves football. Get him off that couch, on that ladder, on the roof, to inspect your roof for free. 205-542-3531, 542-3531. He'll be looking for a lot of things, water entry points, loose shingles, cracks around fittings, things like that. And then he'll give you an evaluation. Sometimes he'll come down and say, man, you're perfect up there, and you got 3, 4, 5 more years on that roof. Nothing to do here. He hopes you'll remember Storm Restoration Roofing later when there's time to change something on your roof. He does storm repair damage, roof replacements when they age out. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. And right now, he's got this soft wash program that actually makes your roof look practically new. You got some staining up there from the sun or trees, and here living in the South, it's easy to get stains on your roof that makes it look older than it really is and maybe gets cross-eyed looks from your neighbors. Well, Greg can get up there and make it look brand new. Soft wash program from Storm Restoration Roofing, 205-542-3531. Make Andrea happy. Get Greg out of the house. 205-542-3531, stormrestorationroofing.com.
What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Get your hand off my penis!
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our friends at Bud Light bring you trash every day. And trash starts with oddly, a story we touched on during Stephen Pearl. Stephen Pearl was wearing the same tracksuit that ousted Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro was wearing. Maduro showed up in a photo shared by Donald Trump on his Truth Social, blindfolded and handcuffed, wearing a gray Nike tracksuit as he was escorted by U.S. agents. And the image quickly spread across social media. If you missed the story over the weekend, the Venezuela leader and his wife were captured on allegations of drug trafficking, are expected to face charges in New York, according to U.S. authorities. But he was captured after a United States military raid on the capital city of Venezuela. And then this picture that Tyler is showing you and Scott is showing you, shared by U.S. President Donald Trump, showed him aboard a U.S. military vessel en route to the United States, wearing a gray Nike Tech fleece tracksuit with black detailing. It was a weird outfit, and it made me wonder, Tyler, was he wearing that when they snatched him, or did they say, here, put this on?
No.
You don't think he was wearing that around the castle?
I was wondering it, too, because when I woke up over the weekend, I grabbed my phone. I'm still wiping the crusties out of my eyes.
That's right.
And I see on my feed this guy in
Yeah.
the Nike Tech suit.
That's
and
right.
that was the first thing I noticed. It was like, oh, he's got the tech fleece.
It was the first thing I noticed, too.
No,
actually,
this is they snatched him in the middle of the night, so
they say, here, put this on?
He's either in pajamas, T-shirt, and gym shorts, or butt-ass naked.
Yeah.
And when they got him under control and got him to the copter, they threw this on him.
Yeah, so the first thing I noticed before the Nike Tech suit is, Scott, go full screen on this, Scott, because it's got to be full screen for you to notice this. I thought momentarily he was holding a water bottle in his right hand and a hot dog wiener in his left hand.
It does look like a hot dog wiener.
Yeah, I thought that's what he had in his left hand, and then I looked closer at the photo. I zoomed in on the photo. I'm like, oh, that is not what I don't know what it is, but it's not a hot dog.
Yeah.
But I thought for a moment we had given him a bottle of water and a uncooked hot dog to eat on the flight.
Yeah. What people don't know is underneath the little padding around, the little gray thing around it, it says Chiefs Super Bowl champions from last year. That's where we ship that stuff to.
Here's what's crazy is moments after this photo was sent out by President Trump and then went viral on social media, the outfit sold out on Nike's U.S. website within hours of the release of these images, in fact. Search term Nike Tech surged on Google. TikTok and Instagram were filled with memes and commentary questioning the choice of clothing such as during such a high-stake arrest. The Nike Fleece tracksuit, part of the brand's premium Tech Fleece line, goes for $140 for the jacket and $130 for the pants. Heck of a deal.
I loved you asked the question because they executed the raid. It
2 a.m.
It was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I love that you think that's what he was lounging around in or sleeping in.
Do you let him get dressed? Like, yeah, you gotta get dressed.
Yeah, you guys got me. Hold on, I'm gonna throw on my tracksuit here real quick.
My Nike Tech suit's laid over by the bed.
Honey, I know you're in cuffs too. Where's my gray kicks that match this suit?
You know what I could go for? A bottle of water and a hot dog.
Make sure you grab the full set. I don't want to get arrested in a gray jacket and black pants.
That's right.
Just looks silly.
Mismatching.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good news is if you're still interested in this, it looks like you could still get the 3XL. Is that what I'm reading here? It's still available, 3X.
Yes, and they always restock these, and they have tons of colors.
Until we arrest a very large leader of another nation, the 3XL is still good to go.
I like the Tech Fleece shorts.
Oh, okay. I've never had those.
They're very comfy.
I assume, Brownie, at that point, the Department of War will need to be flying helicopters into North Korea at that point to sell out of the 3XL.
Probably not off the board right now, Joe. A man has been arrested in Paris after a sword held by a statue of Joan of Arc was stolen in broad daylight, prompting police action.
Yeah. Now, what does she look like she's holding, Brown?
Smaller than it looks.
That, too, looks like she's holding a wiener.
Uncooked. The incident took place January 2026 at Place Saint-Augustin in Paris' 8th arrondissement. How do you say that? Arrondis?
Not important to the story.
Neighborhood. Involving Joan of Arc, located near St. Augustine Church. It was erected in 1895, one of the 4 cast and displayed publicly statues on that in that area. Footage and eyewitness accounts showed the man walking up to the monument, forcibly yanking the sword from the statue before fleeing the scene. According to authorities, we see the man violently shaking the horse before climbing the statue and breaking the sword with a sharp blow using his bare hands, and then he took it with him.
So, do you get that statue when she wins one national championship for France, or do you have to win multiple?
It looks nothing like Joan of Arc.
Looks like Andy Griffith.
It looks like Andy Griffith.
Her hands are actually bigger in the statue than they are in real life.
That's what you tell them, huh? She's without her sword now. There's no putting that back. I guess you could glue it back on, maybe.
I would say this: her leg to upper body ratio seemed to be lost in the creation of that piece of work. I think we've got a forced perspective here. Because of where the camera is.
A low shot, yeah.
Because she looks very short legs, very tall-waisted.
Very high-waisted, I would agree. Based on that photo, very high-waisted. We move on to Thailand now. A fortune teller from Thailand has been arrested for allegedly stealing a teen's phone after telling the same teen she would face bad luck and lose a valuable possession on New Year's Day. I told you, tried to tell you.
You're going to get water in your face. Whoa.
38-year-old woman was outside a temple when the teen sought his fortune-telling services on January 1st around 6 a.m. The man warned her that she was on the brink of misfortune and would lose something valuable, urging her to give him some money to avert bad luck. That'll do it. Yeah, you can avert bad luck if you'll give me, $1,000. You got cash? The 19-year-old, identified only as Pim, P-I-M, refused to give the man money. Shortly after leaving the session, Miss Pim realized her iPhone 13 Pro was missing. She recalled that she had placed the phone beside her during the fortune-telling session. I mean, I don't believe in fortune tellers, but technically this one was spot on. Yeah. She left the phone behind. When confronted, the fortune teller insisted the loss proved the accuracy of his prediction, even going as far as to describe what the thief supposedly looked like that came by and stole the phone. The teen grew suspicious, imagine that, and immediately sought help from members of the public. Police were called after the phone was allegedly discovered in the fortune teller's bag. How convenient. Hidden inside a box meant for face mask. I don't believe in fortune tellers, but, I mean, technically by rule of the law, I think this one was correct. She left her phone behind.
You can make the future happen.
Clearly. She took it in her own hands, like literally took it in her own hands. And finally on Trash Today, the world's first ever Slotharium is opening this year in Orlando. Now, I know what many of you are saying. Brown, what is a Slotharium?
Let me guess.
Okay.
It is, by definition, it is a aquarium for sloths, but I think it's going to be about people that don't do a lot of things. I think it's going to be a tribute to
lazy people.
Couch potatoes.
Yeah. Well, you were right to begin with. If everyone wants to see a sloth in the natural habitat, they need to go to the Slotharium. No glass or bars separating you from them. That's what you get at Sloth World, an upcoming sloth-focused experience opening February 2026 in Orlando.
Daddy, make them do something.
You know, a lot of competition for the entertainment dollar in Orlando. I'm not sure this is the best place to put the Slotharium.
Or it's the perfect place.
Because you're out of money?
Because everybody's already spending just an exorbitant amount of money. It's like, yeah, $50 to see some sloths. Why not?
That's right. What are they going to do, Dad? Absolutely nothing. That's the whole point. Sloth babies will also be born on site at Sloth World, so we got male and female sloths, apparently. Boy, I bet that is slow action.
Push.
Oh.
Push.
Harder.
It's a boy. Oh, wait. No.
Sloth babies will be born on site. Percentage of ticket sales will go towards the rescue and habitat programs for sloths in Ghana, Costa Rica, and Peru.
You think the delivery's slow? You should have seen this conception.
I'll be over here waiting. I've got a headache. Sloth World open to the public February 2026. Tours available from 9 to 9. 9 to 9. They are bold in their hours right there. We're gonna need 12 hours a day, folks.
I'm gonna be up bright and early to see the sloths,
including holidays. They're gonna be open on Christmas. Sloth World closed on Christmas. No sirree. Tickets $49. $49 to see sloths.
Well, you were close on 50.
They're expected to sell out months in advance as tourists prepare their travel plans. That's Slotharium in Orlando, Sloth World. That is Trash, presented by Bud Light.
Tua Tagovailoa says he's open to a fresh start.
Well, he needs to be. I mean, all the reports are he's done in Miami. He's still owed, I believe it's $52 million next year. There's still some guaranteed money on that contract, obviously, which the Dolphins will be on the hook for regardless of where Tua is playing. I don't think he's got trade value, do you? I mean, if you're trading for him, you're trading for him to be a backup. I don't know that anybody's trading for him to be a starter.
Oh, I think you could.
Give me a place.
I think there are places, but what are you telling? I'm not giving you anything of value. I mean, you've got to eat some of the salary, and
Miami will have to. Yeah,
you got to eat
money.
some of the salaries, and then I'll take some of it off of you for Tua.
Yeah.
That's. I'm not giving you anything.
No. What Miami is praying for is that Quinn Ewers is Brock Purdy. There were times where Quinn Ewers looked the part, and there were times in the 3 games where he did not. He seems to be a good fit for what Mike McDaniel wants to do, and Miami's run game exploded in the back half of the year. So they're hopeful next year that Quinn Ewers with Miami's run game can be a good NFL quarterback. And now you're on the Brock Purdy deal where you're paying one guy not to play a ton of money and paying one guy to play almost nothing because he was the last quarterback drafted. He was a 7th round draft pick. So if that's not the case, Miami is in a world of hurt right now because of how much money you've got tied up in Tua. Who are you going to go get? They almost have to play Quinn Ewers. I mean, I don't know what your other option is at this point.
Yeah,
if you're not playing Tua,
I don't know if you think Fernando Mendoza is. I mean, the Raiders get the first pick, and if he goes there, if you don't think he's ready, if you want him to sit 2 years,
get Tua?
You could get Tua for just some of the salary. Miami pays the rest of it, and and have him for a year or two.
Yeah, Green Man says Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't have an established starter right now.
You know what the problem there is?
You got a bunch of quarterbacks already.
They actually play football games outside 40 degrees.
It's something you got to worry about. Tua is terrible in those situations.
Yeah. At least in Vegas, you're
in a dome.
In a dome.
Yeah, and most of your division games are in a dome in L.A. You do have to go to Kansas City, which is about to be a dome. But
it'll take a while.
It'll take a while, not soon enough. But so, I mean, I do think you have to take that into consideration. Tua in cold weather has been terrible. The irony of all of this is he actually stayed healthy this year. Now, he didn't play the last 3 games, but for 14 starts, stayed healthy. Now, it was playing through some nagging injuries, but nothing that ever took away any playing time for him. And that's rare for him. But
ironically, he'd be perfect for Miami to sort of tide them over until they get their next quarterback.
Exactly.
That's like the running joke on social media is, do you think one day LSU, like Lane Kiffin, would leave LSU for a lucrative playoff contender like Ole Miss?
Somebody's proven to be able to go to the championship game?
Yeah, that's funny stuff. So that's Tua. If you could only watch one NFL game this weekend, only one. Count Monday night. So Saturday to Monday, you can only watch one game. Which one do you want to watch? For those that forget, it's Rams, Carolina, then Green Bay, Chicago on Saturday.
You think that's going to be a good one?
San Francisco, Philadelphia, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Chargers, Patriots on Sunday, and then Texans, Steelers on Monday. You can only watch one game.
Texans, Steelers could be ugly, but I think that'll be a close game. I would probably go San Francisco, Philadelphia. 49ers, Eagles.
I think I would too. Because I still think winner of that game is a Super Bowl champion contender.
I know last on my list, and this is no shot at Lance or the Rams, I just don't think Rams-Carolina is going to be very competitive.
And that's why they have the Saturday Fox 3:30. That is the worst of all those television windows.
That's generally where you get crammed. It's where the Texans have historically been in their playoff games, is that first game out of the chute.
Yep, or the Buccaneers.
Yeah,
so there you go. NFL coming this weekend. A lot of portal stuff. You can get the best part of our shows at TNR Clips. TNR Clips on YouTube, or you can go to our YouTube channel. Some of you are watching that right now, and get the show in its entirety. Or you can get some of the best interviews, including Luginbill, who was great today on both Byrum Brown and Hollywood Smothers, the running back coming to Alabama, and a lot more. That's our show. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.